I'm a little rusty on it.
I'll hum it for you.
Okay, finally. I don't know what's... Oh God. Technology is weird. Okay, cool. We're here. I'm just gonna... Okay, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll do this, and then I'll tie my hair. How is everyone doing? Sorry about that. The camera was being really fucking weird for whatever reason. Let's get on with it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you might be watching this. My name is Josh, and welcome to my channel. On here, we talk news, we talk politics, we talk current events. Sometimes we play horror games. This will not be that fourth one, unless we get done with everything, in a hasty manner. River, what are you doing? You were laying on the... No, River. Do you need to rub yourself on everything? Is that something that's really necessary for you to do? We've only lived here for, what, almost 4 years? Do you need to continually rub yourself on every surface, even though you've done it hundreds of times at this point? Okay, you're done. Okay. Can you go in the window or not go in the window? What are you doing? Okay. Anyway, my cat being kind of annoying aside, how hopefully your day is going well. We got some fun topics. I actually don't remember what I put in the stream title, to be honest with you. I already forget. But I can tell you what topics we are going to talk about. I just don't remember if did I say that we would be doing, where is it? Where's my channel? Oh, wait, I'm stupid. I'm already at it. What did I say we're doing? Oh, I did say we're doing the Texas Judges story. Okay, cool. I was wondering, I couldn't remember if I said we were going to go over that. But yeah, okay. So I want to take a look at, I think it's a Vice video. Vox. Sorry, I always get Vox and Vice mixed up. I want to look at this Vox video on the power of Texas judges right now, and kind of why it feels like every time a Texas judge does anything or makes a ruling or whatever, it always feels like it's challenging and implicating the entire country all at once, all at the same time. So kind of want to take a look at that just to kind of get an understanding of why it feels like that. Oh no, I let my hair go now. It's all weird. Oh no. Okay, got it back. Okay. And then what order did I say we're gonna do things in? Not that I ever stick to the order. Yeah. Oh, okay. Matt Walsh, that's what it was. Yeah. Then take a look at Matt Walsh. We're gonna do that next. And then I want to watch a bit of the really fucking weird... Actually, I should probably find the rest of the clips. I know there were a couple clips from the Elon interview that he did with CNBC, so I'm going to take a look at that. And then what's probably going to take up the lion's share of the stream is going to be going over all of the House bills from coming out of Florida that were in the Let Kids Be Kids package of bills signed by Ron DeSantis a couple days ago. If I remember correctly, I think that he actually signed that on, Thursday now? So he probably signed it on Tuesday, if not yesterday. This news story came out yesterday, so we'll see. Either way, let's get started. Judges, Texas, hit me with it. This is leftover from the other stream that we just didn't get to this one, but we got through basically everything else. This was bonus.
Something is happening in Texas. Since 2021, there have been 31 separate lawsuits in federal district.
No, I almost forgot. We need to go over the numbers. What's wrong with me? Okay. Let me go find it real quick. I have the file open. Here we go. All right. If anybody would like to take a guess, do so now. So for May 17th, our relationships to firearms here in the United States cost us 66 injuries and 19 deaths in the United States. This is the daily number, including all pulled from the Gun Violence Archive. This is the cost of our relationship to guns and our access to them. Just want to Make sure we always do that update. Anyway, let's continue.
District courthouses all over the state, in which Texas has sued the federal government. Let's look at just one in Amarillo about immigration. The judge in this case, there was no jury, ruled that the Biden administration had to continue a Trump policy called Remain in Mexico that keeps asylum seekers out of the country.
That should be good.
The Biden administration eventually got that decision reversed, but it took almost a whole year. And as they waited for the Supreme Court to do that...
Oh, I realized I never transitioned back. Okay, there we go. Here, let's do that. We'll just start the whole video over. We'll just start the whole segment over again.
Something is happening in Texas. Since 2021, there have been 31 separate lawsuits in federal district courthouses all over the state, in which Texas has sued the federal government. Let's look at just one in Amarillo about immigration. The judge in this case, there was no jury, ruled that the Biden administration had to continue a Trump policy called Remain in Mexico that keeps asylum seekers out of the country. The Biden administration eventually got that decision reversed, but it took almost a whole year. And as they waited for the Supreme Court to do that, they also...
Trump's Remain in Mexico asylum policy revived by judge. Okay, so let's keep in mind here. We have an election coming up in 2024. We had an election back in 2016 where what was one of the prevailing narratives from kind of the Bernie or bust crowds? It was primarily that electing Trump over Hillary wouldn't make much of a difference, and that strategic planning from the Democratic side, i.e. Appointing judges to not just the Supreme Court but to federal courts, isn't a worthwhile and valuable asset to vote based on. We are now seeing the consequences of that mindset, I think, and of that approach to electoral politics. Electoral politics, unfortunately, are not as fulfilling, I think, all the time, the way that we kind of imagine or wish they could be. We kind of have to live with the fact that electoralism means that there is going to be a certain amount of taking disappointing votes, but I think that's kind of part of the political process and part of the way that you should be learning from your strategies each cycle. All that being said, we are seeing the consequences of Trump being in office for as long as he was and appointing as many federal judges as he did. We're seeing a lot of those chickens come home to roost only just now. As progressives, as leftists, as basically not Republican Party voters, we are going to find it to be harder to pass our agenda going forward, regardless of whether we get a boring Biden administration next or a Trump administration next. And we need to be smart about when we abstain from participation in the process. Abstaining does not give you more influence; it gives you less.
Had to obey the decision and keep asylum seekers out of the country, all because of this one judge's ruling.
Oh my God, that guy looks like such a fucking skinhead. I'm sorry.
Had sought this judge out specifically. And over the next 2 years, they would bring him cases against the federal government again and again and again. And he's not alone. Texas has gone back to this judge again and again, too.
Oh my God.
You're not supposed to be able to pick which judge hears your case, but in Texas, you can. It's called judge shopping. It's only possible in a place like Texas, and it's helped make Texas into a powerful weapon for changing how things work everywhere in the country.
Okay, so that's so I didn't actually know that, but is anybody else's alarm bells ringing, fucking blaring right now? In what world does it make sense that you should be able to choose the judges that you are being heard by? In what world does that is that at all like comport with democracy, with a fair system? Then it's just all about, instead of convincing a jury of your peers or really any kind of jury, it's down to one singular person that you need to convince. Like, it's ridiculous.
Each state in the U.S. has at least one federal district court. Texas has 4. They're the
Oh, fuck, how many do we have? Show me that again. How many do we have? We have 1. Damn.
Texas has 4. They're the bottom level of the federal court system. Federal courts mostly hear cases involving national laws, and federal judges are appointed by the president. There are over 600 district judges across all of these courts, so several judges in each court, and usually the judge who hears your case is chosen randomly.
Randomness is a critical principle because the idea is that the judicial system is supposed to be, on the whole, a neutral arbiter of legal disputes.
But
I don't get how at the bottom of the, like, what I don't understand is if we already have a system in place to randomize the choosing of judges, like if at the bottom we're already randomizing who gets picked, then why the fuck is that not an entire, like, why is that not the entire judicial system? It's just randomized. Like, to me, this is a case where we might need to look into decoupling basically, federal judge appointments from political appointment or, appointment by the president or whoever, and make it into a just straight up lottery system.
the U.S. is big. There are a lot of big states, and even when a state has multiple federal court districts, some of those districts are still really big, like this one, the Northern District of Texas.
Yeah, that's fucking
If you're
huge.
in Lubbock,
If you've ever been to, like,
and your case
Texas,
gets randomly assigned to a judge in Dallas, it's a 5-hour drive to get to court. So partly to solve for that,
dude, Texas is
many
way too
districts are
big.
further subdivided into multiple divisions, and each usually has its own courthouse. But different districts have different rules.
That's what we need to do.
for
We need to
which
split up
case
fucking
goes
Texas.
to which division. For example, over in the Central District of California, there are 3 divisions with clear rules meant to make sure that cases
Jesus.
stay
Oh, well, nobody
local.
really lives much in the east.
But in the Northern District of Texas, those rules aren't so strict. It's much easier to file a case in whatever division you choose. Same with the other Texas districts. Here's where that becomes a problem.
Well, yeah,
The
no
Southern
shit.
District of Texas has 28 judges for
Like,
7.
I can't even imagine the justification for this. Like, the idea that you'd be like, oh, there's like some cases, maybe, but it's like, I feel like this is fairly obvious that this would be a massively abused system.
7 divisions. But for most of the last 2 years, 2 of those divisions have had just 1 active judge each. Here in the Victoria division, that's been Judge Drew Tipton, and in the Galveston division, it's Judge Jeffrey Brown.
Jesus
And
Christ.
this happens all over the state. In the Northern District, this judge, Matthew Kaczmarek, is the only judge in the Amarillo division.
Oh, wait.
And Judge Reed O'Connor is the only...
We've heard, okay, so I've heard about this guy, the Kaczmarek guy. Yeah. Because he's the fucker who also, God, he just looks like the picture of like every white supremacist. But no, this is the dude who ruled on the Mifepristone. I think it's Mifepristone case. Like, this dude is the guy who's currently putting the ability for women to get, like the abortion pill at risk just because of this one fucking neo-Nazi looking ass guy.
only one for the Wichita Falls division. And that means that if you choose to file your lawsuit in one of those places, you know who the judge will be. So you get a situation where, over 2 years, the Texas Attorney General files 8 separate lawsuits against the Biden administration in Victoria because they knew Judge Tipton would hear them. Cases about the border wall, the minimum wage,
Jesus.
gun laws.
Judge Tipton had sided with the state of Texas.
One of
had
these
embraced
days
a
we
pretty
need to
broad view
do
of why
like
Texas
a
could sue in the first place,
like
and
a
had
deep
issued
dive
nationwide
on
injunctions barring the Biden administration from carrying out its policies. So yeah, I mean, I don't think
on the
there was much
fucking
of a mystery
Federalist Society
about why they would choose Judge Tipton.
The second thing that makes Texas unique is where it sits in this chart. If the losing side of a district judge's decision appeals, it goes up to one of the 12 appeals courts, also called the circuit courts. A decision appealed from there goes up to the Supreme Court. And all Texas district courts report up to the 5th Circuit Court, which with a big majority of judges appointed by Republican presidents, is the most notoriously conservative of all the circuit courts.
Yeah,
and broadly
like
speaking, very
It's like there's 3 levels, and we let the bottom be randomized, the middle one be politically, be incredibly influential from a political standpoint, and then at the top of the Supreme Court, that's also hyper politicized. And the idea that our court system and our courts and our judges and everything else is an apolitical system is just absurd. Anybody trying to like float that is actually fucking insane. There's no way you could argue any of this is actually apolitical.
Likely to agree with even the most conservative rulings. We saw this when a private group filed a lawsuit in Amarillo seeking to ban abortion pills that had been legal for 20 years. In April 2023, Judge Kaczmarek sided with the private group, saying the U.S. Food and Drug Administration had to roll back its approval of mifepristone for the whole country. The Fifth Circuit Court largely agreed, and the case made it to the Supreme Court, which then actually.
And keep in mind, that's not at all like a scientific decision either. It wasn't because there was some, scientific justification. Oh, we found that there's this or that side effect. No, it's just. Dude doesn't want women to have access to the abortion pill, so decides no, the FDA is not allowed to doesn't have. I think the challenge was like to the FDA's ability to actually approve drugs for commercial use, which is crazy because then it's like, well, you're undercutting the entire ability for the FDA to even regulate anything. Like that, this would be insane. We would have no regulatory board for almost anything.
We're hours away from this really shockingly broad and remarkable ruling that would have dramatically restricted access to mifepristone on a nationwide basis going into effect. And so, I think the notion that like, hey, we walked up to the cliff but didn't fall in doesn't mean everything
really
is
like
okay.
Star Wars.
But while the Supreme Court moved quickly to pause the mifepristone decision, often, it actually just sits on cases for months before it hears them, effectively allowing the lower court judge's decision to dictate federal law during that time. Like in 2022, when Judge Tipton ruled that Biden couldn't reprioritize which undocumented immigrants to deport first. Almost a year later, we're still waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on that, and Tipton's ruling is still in effect.
And keep in mind, that's kind of the point, right? Like the point of these guys is to gum up the actual judicial process and the actual immigration process so that it doesn't work, so that when we get backlogs and we have all of these issues with our immigration process, then the Republican Party turns around and says, oh my God, can you believe how bad our immigration process is? There's so many people waiting and blah, 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 blah. And they create the issue and then blame and then point to the problem and say oh my God, can you believe we did this? We need to stop all immigration, just not have asylum. We can't let people claim asylum at the border anymore. We can't let more people in because they gummed up the system and fucked it up for everybody else.
Good lawyer is going to try to maximize the chances that their client's going to win. What's different about what's been happening lately is actually trying to stack the deck so that you're guaranteed of a specific outcome.
Judge shopping the way we see it today is a relatively new phenomenon. So, how do we fix it? Well, the district courts themselves could decide to do things differently. In February, the Southern District of Texas changed Victoria's single-judge status. It now has 2 active judges.
Whoa,
and since these
crazy.
are federal courts, Congress could also pass a law regulating the way cases are distributed. There's a bill in Congress right now that would redirect any lawsuit that wants to block a federal policy to the courts in Washington, D.C.
Ooh, I want to read that, actually. What is that? Routers. I'll go look for it here while we finish up. Routers, judge shopping.
Or the Supreme Court could write new rules for the lower courts. But until then, anyone who wants a good shot at getting a case before the Supreme Court knows that in Texas district courts, you can pick your judge.
Fucking wild. Okay, let's take a look at this article. Whoa, I'm really zoomed in right now. Let's go to 110. Stop it. April 26th. Okay, so this is fairly recent, yeah? 2023, yeah. Democratic Senator Mazi Hirono on Wednesday introduced a bill that would require legal challenges affecting national laws and policies to be filed in Washington, D.C. federal court. Well, that's okay. The Hawaii senator proposed the bill after several lawsuits challenging Biden administration decisions were filed before conservative judges outside of Washington, prompting complaints that plaintiffs are shopping for sympathetic courts. Activist plaintiffs should not be able to handpick individual judges to set nationwide policy, which is why it's critical we address the issue of judge shopping in our federal courts. Okay. Spokespeople for the judiciary had no immediate comment. The Amarillo, Texas courthouse of U.S. District Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, who this month suspended access to the abortion pill mifepristone, has become a go-to destination for some conservative cases. The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed mifepristone to be accessed while that litigation is pending. Kaczmarek appointed to the bench by former President Donald Trump last month, declined to transfer out of his court to separate challenge his court transfer out of his court a separate challenge by Republican states to a Biden administration rule allowing socially conscious investing by retirement plans. Hirono's legislation would channel such cases to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The court currently features a majority of active... You fucking idiots! Oh my god! The court currently features a majority of active judges appointed by former President Barack Obama or President Joe Biden. 4 of the court's judges were appointed by Trump. Oh my god, guys. Okay, there's a reason why I'm really annoyed by this. And it's because this is the most fucking Democrat Party fucking thing ever. There's like a problem with the entire system. The idea that you get to pick which judges you go to depending on where you file your your legal documents, right? And these fucking idiots in the Democratic Party are like, why don't we just make them file it in this one specific district that right now is filled with a bunch of Obama and Biden era active judges, which doesn't actually fix the problem. There's still 4 judges that are appointed by Trump. This is the most let's not fix the system. Let's just let's just turn it to our advantage, which no, just fix the fucking system. Make it be randomized within the state that you're in, that you can't pick which judge you get. It just goes into a shuffleboard of some kind, and it pops out whoever the fuck it is that's going to hear your case. Not this, you have to do it in DC in this specific courthouse or this specific district court. And for now, under this system, wait long enough and Republicans will have taken over that fucking district house, and then it'll be even worse. Then it will be even worse. Because then it'll be like, oh, you have to always take every single case to this courthouse. Then it's like, oh, then we just need to stack this one district court and we're done. And, this is so fucking stupid. Why are Democrats like this? Why the fuck are Democrats like this? God damn it. You all are so fucking stupid. The Biden administration has accused Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton of judge shopping, including in a lawsuit challenging the legality of last year's $1.7 trillion federal government funding law. Oh my god. Paxton's office is fighting an effort to transfer the case from Trump appointee U.S. District Judge James Wesley Hendricks' court to Lubbock, Texas, to either Washington or the federal courthouse in Austin, the state's capital. Hendricks has not yet ruled. They keep trying to make it so that it goes to their courts, not realizing that their courts are not always going to be theirs. Just make it random and don't give anybody the ability to pick where they're going. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I can't believe how fucking stupid these people are. The leaders of the only other party in this country are fucking brain dead. They're so fucking stupid. I can't get over that. God.
Let's talk a bit about your tweets.
Why did you play? I didn't hit the play button. Ugh. Let's see. Let's see. I saw that. Here we go. We'll do these two specific clips for Elon. But before we do that, we are going to take a look at Matt Walsh. You know, I gotta say, it's gotta be quite difficult to be a conservative these days. It's gotta be like, I imagine it's kind of hard to. Excuse me. I'd imagine it's kind of a, oh, what is this? Wait, huh? Excuse me? Is that right? Okay. I just distracted myself by seeing a Steam notification. The Outlast Trials has an early access? Is that what we're doing? Complex? I don't think I can run this on, like, I definitely can't run this on my laptop, but I do. Early access out now. I do want to play this. This looks like a lot of fun. Requires agreement. Is this going to be on console too? I would appreciate this was on console as well. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry. I know. Let me do like one thing. I just got distracted because stuff happened. I saw a notification. It wasn't even for the Outlast thing. It was for the new Puppet Combo game. I got like a notification on my Steam. Is this Puppet Combo? Am I crazy? Am I at the right video? Or yeah, this is it. Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't Puppet Combo. I'm false info. Lefty misinformation. Ooh, maybe we'll play this. Maybe we'll play this next week. That might have to happen. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm getting distracted, but I wanted to look at something fun for like 1 second to make me happy. Anyway, sorry. So it's going to be kind of tough to be a conservative in America. You can't drink Bud Light. You can't drink Miller Lite apparently now. You can't eat Hershey's chocolate. Good luck with that. You know, you can't go to fun drag shows because, I mean, they are fun, but you can't go to them. Everybody's out to get, you can't send your kid to public school. You know, it's just got to be tough. You know, you got to look out around every corner for every possible thing that could possibly influence you or somebody in your family to not be as straight as you possibly could be. But it seems like, or I should say, unfortunately, it seems like there's another place that you shouldn't be going. If you're a conservative, do not go to Target. Target is your enemy now, apparently. Matt Walsh has come out and I guess is beginning the new campaign to take down Target after they took down Bud Light. Yeah, let's look at this. What Target is doing is far worse than anything Bud Light did. They are selling chest binders and quote tuck friendly bathing suits for children. Is that okay? Target is calling our bluff, but just like any other company, they need our business. Well, they need business. They don't necessarily need y'all's business. We did it with Bud Light. Now it's Target's turn. Well, what's funny is also, you know, they'll say, we haven't actually looked at it in a while, have we? Let's see. And let's take a look. How are we doing so far? 59. All right. Let's do, what is it? They started this whole thing in April, right? So we can do like the last couple of months. We can do 3 months should cover it. All right, let's see. March. So at the end of March, they were at 59. Peaked at 66 in the beginning of April. Bit of a dip down to 63, back up to 65. Still sitting around 64, and we're at 58 today. Looks like it's been trending down for like the last week or so. Let's see. It looks like they've been losing maybe a little bit less than $1 a day in terms of stock price. Let's see. Rises Thursday, still underperforms market. Your reputation is a mess and there's no easy fix. Ah, yes. The Dylan Mulvaney stuff, yeah. Because when was this? May 16th? Yeah. Oh, that was early. That was a couple days ago. Stock has fallen for 6 days. Boycott blues have kicked back in. Ah, yes. Consumer reports. Yeah. So the entire, let's see, we're looking at probably what, a couple dollars down? Honest to God, not all that. Like, if we take a look at 6 months ago, like what? This time, actually, here, let's do a really easy one. This time last year, oh, interesting. Wait, no, this isn't a full year. Wait. We're at 58 right now in May. Oh, that's year to date. I'm fucking stupid. Give me 1 year. Sorry. Let's see. They're at 58 now. I mean, dude, when was this? Last September, they were down to 48. Trust me when I say that this little dip here, I don't think they need to be too concerned about. They were all like less than a year ago, they were at 40 fucking 4, it looks like, was their absolute bottom. So they'll be fine. They will be perfectly fine. But anyway, we haven't watched Matt Walsh in quite a while, actually, I feel like. So let's see if he's brought anything else to bear on the arguments. I don't have a lot of hope, but
Target is once again getting Pride Month kicked off a few weeks early by unveiling their ever-expanding selection of LGBT-themed merchandise, with much of it specifically aimed at children. The Daily Wire reports, quote, Target unveiled a number of clothing items.
The Daily Wire, a.k.a. you guys? That's not really much of a source.
Accessories, including apparel and books meant for babies and young children as part of the retail behemoth's latest Pride collection.
Ah, yes. What is it? Let's go take a look. If I type in Target and Pride, let's see. Maybe if I do like section, let's see. My God, can you believe this? Can you believe the fucking look at this evil? It's like one fucking standee, and like, does this count? I guess, yeah, it's rainbowy. Like, whoa. Oh, can I get an explanation how this isn't sexualizing children? Right next to the kids section, you have this almost naked man. What the fuck is this? Anyway, yeah. When they say when they say stuff like what was it? Adult collection, which included no, go back, Matt. What the hell's wrong with you? Including apparel and books. This is what they meant. Some clothes and some shorts, some beach towels. Like, whoa. Really fucking breaking the mold there.
Retail behemoth's latest Pride collection. In addition to the adult collection, which included a t-shirt emblazoned with the words queer, 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 a short-sleeved bright green boiler suit, and a hoodie which declares not a phase. The company offered several items meant for kids and babies. The store is selling onesies and small shirts with phrases like being proud and just be you and feel the love, as well as rainbow-colored leggings, tutu skirts, and jumpers. Target likewise offers bibs that say, I am proud of you always. Rainbow sandals and swim.
Wow. Can you imagine a child with a bib on that says, I'm proud of you always? I'm actually kind of curious. I want to take a look at the Pride collection now. I want to see the, let's go kids and baby clothes. Here we go. Okay, we'll let them play for
and
now.
Socks with various LGBTQ related themes. Shoppers with pets can purchase rainbow backpacks, chew toys, treats, leashes, collars, and cat scratchers.
Rainbow shit?
The retailer has garnered controversy for several years with Pride collections meant to commemorate the June LGBTQ festivals. Items sold last year included breast binders, packing underwear, and other offerings meant for self-identified transgender individuals, drawing backlash against.
Well, wait a minute, Matt. If it's only wait. So if the argument here is that kids shouldn't be, because isn't that their whole thing? Is it's always, oh, you know, kids shouldn't be indoctrinated and blah, 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 blah. But I don't see any here that any of these things were sold to children, and yet you guys were still upset. Also, let's look at the demonic Pride Kids section. Bien proud. Okay. How dare they speak Spanish? Something with like a rainbow on it. Oh, here's the bib he talked about. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? God, what they're doing to our children. Like, all right. It's got a bunch of kids shit on it. It's kids wearing normal kids clothes. By the way, if you're one of these people who's like, they're sexualizing the kids, I'm like, you've got a lot of explaining to do there, bud. You've got a lot. Oh yeah, books. Let's see, books. We got a book. Oh, what is this? Bye Bye Binary. That's fun. Written by, illustrated. That's cool. The pronoun book. Oh no, how could they? How could they teach them words? Oh no. Beyond the Cool. All boys aren't blue. This is true. I'm more of a green person. Oh, this looks, I like this artwork for this Clementine book. Oh, there's zombies in it too. It's Robert Kirkman. Holy shit. Okay, cool. That's neat. Book of Pride. Cool, cool, cool. Secret Lives of Country. I have no idea what that is. It sounds scandalous though. Boyfriend material. That's cool. That's cool. Like, this is what they're having a fit over. Alive at the End of the World. That's an Audi R8 right there. Like, this is the thing that they're like really, really upset by, that they think are really gonna get people to their side. It's just so weird to me.
It's the company. I should also mention that they're along with, you know, these products for kids, they're also selling LGBT children's books and all the rest of it.
Yeah, we looked
at. If
at
you go
those.
into a Target right now, you're going to see all that. As soon as you walk in the store,
My
you're going
God.
to see all of that front and center, proudly on display.
Yep, it's called Pride for a reason.
The chest binders and the packing underwear, those are items that are still on offer this year. Here's a video posted by somebody who seems to be trying to defend Target against claims that it's selling these kinds of things for children.
Adult.
So this is someone who's she's not upset about this. It seems she's trying to defend Target, and but in the process of trying to defend Target, she actually exposes what Target is doing accidentally. Let's watch.
I'm sorry I chose you again. I just needed to do the bathing suit the last bit.
I love how they just find some fucking loser who has nothing else to do with their time but film themselves in department stores. I'm sorry, in warehouse stores.
I found the
My
tuck
God.
bathing suits,
Oh, hey.
the tuck-friendly bathing suits. So if you need a women's bathing suit,
I think
and
I'm
you
looking
have
at
a little
that
extra
right now.
meat down there that you got to hide.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, actually. It's this one. It's a perfectly normal bathing suit. Like, I'm sure it is, but that's probably like a secondary usage. It's like a feature. It's not really a bug, it's a feature.
You have one option. That is the only bathing suit that I found in the entire store, and it's in the Pride section. It's not in
Cool.
the kids section, women's
Yeah.
section,
Well.
women's section, baby section. It is in the Pride section. It was the only one I could find, and I did have.
Right? Because people who are trans, and generally people who are trans, might need that sort of accommodation and are part of the LGBT, that they are part of that whole grouping, and Pride does encompass that group, so it kind of makes sense that would be in that area.
Have another adult with me checking all the tags so that I didn't have to stay in the store for 9 hours.
Cool.
Okay, so tuck-friendly bathing suits, if you have, as she says, a little extra meat down there.
Sure.
But they aren't in the kids section, she hastens to add. They're in
Right.
the Pride section.
Well, yeah, that's what
They're
you guys
not in
freak
the
out
kids
about,
section.
isn't it?
It's just the Pride section that they've set up right in the front of the store.
Right.
Which may be true, but we can also...
Do you think it says, okay, can we go back really quickly? Actually, can I find, that lady was on TikTok, wasn't she? Let's see, Tuck. Fuck me. Friendly. TikTok? God, everyone uses fucking TikTok now. Discover how... No, that's not what I want. I want TikTok. I want... Fuck, am I gonna have to, like, look up the actual person's fucking TikTok thing. Oh wait, is this it? Is this it? I think this is it. I think I found it. God damn it, it's unavailable. Probably because she's getting a lot of... Okay, here we go.
Okay, so tuck-friendly bathing suits.
This is just Matt Walsh. I want the... Okay, fine. Fine. I want to see. Fine, I'll just rewind. What are we at? Fuck, this has gone into full... Okay, where are we at? We're at 257. Where is it? Like, what's funny to me is...
I'm sorry I chose you again. And I just needed to do the bathing
Did you
suit
see the
last
bathing
bit.
suits and the kids?
I found
with
the tuck bathing suits. The tuck-friendly bathing suits. So
like,
if you...
Matt, you fucking idiot. It's not even... Oh my god, dude. Like, you wouldn't
need a women's
even
bathing
know
suit and you have a
it's
little extra-
even tuck-friendly unless you went and checked the tag. It, like, has he been to a Target? Does he think there's like a section that's like, you know, in Target red or in fucking rainbow colors, tuck friendly? Does he think that's a thing? Ugh. Like he makes it out. And look, dishonesty is kind of part of his entire game here. But he makes it out like you have to walk through the Pride section before you can get to the rest of the like the rest of the store. And like they're showing off all of the like trans clothing and everything else, and oh my god, and all this hysteria. And it's like, dude, you wouldn't have even known about the tuck friendly stuff unless you went and looked at the fucking tags. Like, ugh. Like, these people are hysterical about literally the smallest things.
You have one option. That is the only bathing suit that I found in the entire store. And
Also, I
it's
like
in
how
the
this
Pride
person's like,
section. It's not in the
yeah,
kids
it could be
section,
better.
Women's section, boys section, baby.
It's just the Pride section that they've set up right in the front of the store.
Yeah.
Which may be true,
Anyway.
but we can also clearly see that the bathing suits, though not
Which may be true, but let me introduce my alternative narrative.
the kids section, are available in kids' sizes. Either those are sizes for kids or for very, very, very small adults.
Wait. So wait. Go back. Wait.
See that the bathing suits, though not in the kids section, are available in kids' sizes.
He does know that not all... Wait. You can't... If you go to the adult section, they don't have the same options as the kids section. He does understand that, right? Also, let's hit him, let's hit him with our old buddy, Ben Shapiro here. Where is it? Target. We will just do this again. Let's take a look. Is it adult clothing, swimwear? We literally know exactly which article of clothing. Let's take a look. You can get, let's see, it looks like, yeah, these are adult size. Well, let's see. Let's see. The double XS is like, what, 32? Like, good God. Like, that's small, but I don't think that's kids small. Kids are very tiny. I don't know if Matt knows this. Probably doesn't, because he doesn't spend time with his kids. Family outfits. I mean, there is this, but that's not swimwear. Let's see. Is there a kids? Fine. Let's see. Oh man. Oh geez. I'm not seeing the exact same thing. If it was in kids sizes, it would be in the kids listing. God, it's just the fact that I even do this is kind of sad, but I just like being right sometimes.
Either those are sizes for kids or for very, very, very small adults.
Well, fun fact, they're
Which I guess
actually
is the excuse
for
they're going to go,
small
no,
adults.
This is not. This is just
well,
for
they are
extremely undersized adults.
Also, do you think you can consistently find a extra small at a store? It's hard to just get an extra small. The best you're going to get is small. You usually have to order the like extra small or anything above like 1X usually, so maybe 2X depending on where you live. In the store that you're at, but yeah, Matt, it's for adults. That's what it's for.
I mean, you could buy it for your kid, but that's not what it's meant for.
It probably wouldn't fit them.
That's obviously what
Like,
it's meant.
he's just
Which means that if you're
making
a
shit
parent who
up.
wants
He's
to
just
dress your son up
pretending
like
to
a
be
girl
right.
and
This
put
is
him
what
in a
happens
girl's
when,
bathing
like,
suit,
all
Target
your
has items
content is
especially
saying things in a
tailored to
declarative
those, quote,
tone.
needs. Now, it should go without saying that this
What
is
happened to facts and logic, Matt?
far, far worse than anything Bud Light did.
Far
Target
worse.
is
My God.
specifically marketing products for children
Yes.
and putting them on display right in the front of their stores for all to see.
He does know they do that for sports. Like, if I go right now to my local Target, but it's actually very close to me, there's a sports section in the front. Just, it's the first like alcove. I don't like lose my mind. Yeah, we market things to kids. That is a thing that happens. It's called
Target
capitalism.
is actively trying to recruit kids into the LGBT camp. And Target feels safe doing
yes,
this
the
even
recruitment.
after the Bud Light fiasco.
This is
because
how
they
we
assume
create
that,
the day
they
them
can,
army.
for one thing, rely on the ubiquity of their brand to cover them. There are Targets everywhere.
There are.
They, of course, Target isn't just it's not just one product in the refrigerated section of the grocery store that you can walk past and get another product. No, they sell all kinds of items from clothing to groceries and everything in between. So to cut them out, to boycott Target, would require a level of discipline and sacrifice on
that
the
you
part
all
of
are
consumers.
not
Now,
capable of.
it's only a very small amount of discipline and only the meagerest sacrifice, but still it's more than what was required to ditch Bud Light. So that's the problem Bud Light ran into, is that they discovered that they are incredibly expendable and we can ditch them and you could buy a different beer and there's really
And not much will happen, guys. The stock price will drop to a level that isn't even its lowest point in the last year.
no sacrifice at all. It requires no extra effort. It's just opening the refrigerator at the gas station and rather than reaching over there for a different beer. That's all. That's the only effort. And
Howdy,
lots of people
Spectre.
were willing to do that.
Or Spectre?
But for Target,
I don't know how
what
to
they're
pronounce that.
counting on
You have
is
that
that
X
it's
in there
not
throwing me off.
quite so easy.
But how
Because
are
if you
you?
have a Target right down the street,
I do have a Target
and
down the street.
it's got
God, part of me wants to just make a video. Like, part of me just wants to make a video from my basic ass phone. Just walks into Target, walks by Pride section, buys Bud Light, leaves. Like,
everything that you need, and you're a busy parent or something.
You're
if
probably
you
just
decide
gonna
not
go to Target.
That might mean that rather than driving 12 minutes down the street, now you got to drive 17 minutes down the street to go to a different
Look
store.
at this. Matt Walsh wants to
And that's-
cost you $5 extra
That's
worth of gas.
At least more of a sacrifice than is required to not drink Bud Light anymore. But still, Target needs our business. It needs the business of the people that it is angering intentionally with its LGBT indoctrination. And now it's essentially calling our bluff. The company is making the assumption that we will be satisfied with our victory over Bud Light and kind of, leave it there. We have that one trophy on the wall, and they're assuming, and just like many other corporations, come Pride Month, they're going to assume that we're going to be satisfied with that. It's not an unreasonable assumption. Even with Bud Light, there was a sizable contingent of conservatives who said that we should ignore.
Now, keep in mind, Matt Walsh just said that, what is it? They need the business of the people who they've upset. If this article, am I not allowed to read this? You sons of bitches. Okay, that's fine. Either way, Bloomberg, not some fucking Libby source. New poll finds almost 3/4 are in favor of the right for same-sex couples at a time when some lawmakers are targeting. Yeah. Oh, man, I hate you, Bloomberg. No, go away. Go away. Let me read your stupid article. Can I read the thing? Here we go. Let's see. More Americans than ever support the right for same-sex couples to marry. A new Gallup poll finds in a survey about 1,000 U.S. adults conducted last month, 71% of, and I can't read the rest of it, sadly. Oh, is this it? 72%? Hit me with it. Oh, go away. Let's see. Pride 2021. This is like what? 2 years old now? 72% of Americans believe transgender individuals experience discrimination. Oh, wow. Look at that. 3 in 5 Americans personally know someone. Like, you're asking 3 in 5 Americans to, forego the rights of people they personally know. You guys are not on You're not the majority. I'm sorry. You're the very annoying and loud minority, my friend.
Or that issue. They said that they were tired of hearing about it. It's just a culture war distraction, they complained.
It is.
Let's focus on the economy and taxes instead. If
Should.
multi-billion-dollar corporations are actively trying to brainwash and recruit our children into the LGBT cult, why should that matter? What difference does the culture make anyway?
Why would a company want to brainwash you into doing literally anything other than buy their products? Like, if you're Target, what is the financial and economic incentive to making customers who are underage or otherwise gay? Like, what's the thing, right? Like, what's the and this is where his analysis and where his brain can only take him so far. Because if you ask Matt Walsh, okay, what is Target getting out of this? He would say, I don't know what. The continued growth of the woke movement. I'm like, Target's been around since what? How old is Target as a company? Let's see. I keep like opening and closing Edge. I should really just keep it up. Let's see. Target has, oh, here we go. Wikipedia, please. Target's been around since. Can I get a date, please? No fucking way. 1902? They've changed their name, obviously. Yeah, Target. Yeah, okay. Founded no, I was right. 1902. And the store was in 1962. What does he think? What like they predate wokeness? Spare me. Jesus.
The answer is that it makes all the difference. As I've tried to explain recently on this show and many other times.
Also, they only decided
the
now
culture is the stuff that our
the
country is made of. It's what we are all living in. It's what our children are inheriting from us. And now they are inheriting a society where major corporations celebrate LGBT pride
True.
by selling chest binders and tucking bathing suits.
Not to children.
We do have the power to put a stop to it. It only takes a little bit of discipline and the tiniest amount of sacrifice.
They won't do it.
Corporations who cross the line to this egregious extent should be made to pay for it. And that is a penalty.
Like, it's all conspiracy. It's all conspiracy. It's just, I saw some gay shit when I went into the Target and it really upset me. And now we should all stop shopping there. And I cannot fathom living like this. I could not fathom living under this, weird obsession with opposing everything that's not, to my political and social value set. Especially when it's like stuff like, how dare they sell adult clothing to adults? What if the kids see adults wear adult clothing? It's just sad, man. It's just sad. And it really shows also, like, Matt Walsh is fucking irrelevant. And you want to know how I know that? Because I had to, like, kind of search and be curious to find his Target video that we just watched. Like, the guy just does not have the capital he used to. And I'm sure he's got to feel a certain way about that. But, I can't say I feel bad for him. Getting him to voluntarily leave the platform of YouTube, best thing that could have happened for YouTube. So, it's fine. You want to throw in the towel? You want to go back behind the paywall? That's all you, buddy. Just know that, he's going to be irrelevant now. And, after kind of not watching him for a while, I forgot how surface level all of his arguments and all of his rhetoric really is. It's really unimpressive stuff. Like, from somebody who's definitely significantly older than me, it's pretty sad. Like, that's the best you've got, is they put it in the front. Just walk past it. Don't be such a snowflake. Christ. But okay. All right, so Matt Walsh is a psychopath, but he luckily does not own Twitter and is not currently the I think kind of vanguard of this technocratic futurism that really isn't, like, when I see Elon Musk talk about futurism and discuss, like, going to the moon or Mars or whatever, all this nonsense, electric cars, all this stuff. Whenever I am able to clearly see his vision of the future, honest to God, I just get cyberpunk vibes. Like, I see where his headspace is, and all I see is Night City to me, because it always comes off as like this hyper individualistic, this really dystopic, like relation that people have, not just to their like labor and their work, but also to like other people. Like, it's just, the dude just strikes me as the worst possible version of why did that do that? That's weird. Oh, I know why that did that. Okay. Sorry, I'm like fixing something on my end. But just like the weirdest, most like, duh, we shouldn't do that version of like everything. And to that, he did an interview on CNBC after there was a executive meeting, if I remember correctly. I think it's a board of CEOs meeting. What is it? Sits down. Where is it? Annual shareholder meeting. That's what it is. So let's take a look at two of his little comments here. I don't really want to, I don't really do a lot of Musk stuff just because I don't really find him to be that interesting. Like I said, he just kind of says the cyberpunk answer that we should all have already understood to not be in favor of, but for whatever reason people are. But let's take a look. There's a ChatGPT one that I don't really care too much about, so we're gonna watch. I guess he was complaining about people who work from home, and then what's it called? And then some free speech nonsense. So let's just get into it. Let's give the man a chance.
Look, I'm a big believer that people are more productive when they're in person, and really,
well,
man,
that's really nice if you're a big believer in it. But if I remember correctly, don't studies show people are more productive when they work from home? Productivity, work from home. Let's see. Oh boy, which article? Let's see. We have Apollo Technical. Let's see, January of 2023. Surprising working from home productivity statistics in 2023. Performance can increase up to 13% by working from home. A study by Stanford of 16,000 workers over 9 months found that working from home increased productivity by 13%. The increase in performance was due to more calls per minute, attributed to a quieter, more convenient working environment, and working more minutes per shift because of fewer breaks and sick days. In the same study, workers also reported improved work satisfaction, and attrition rates were cut by 50%. Working remotely can increase productivity up to 77%. 77% of those who work remotely at least a few times per month show increased productivity, with 30% doing more work in less time and 24% doing more work in the same period of time, according to a survey by Connect Solutions. All right. And this is like the first thing that pops up. We can, let's see. Oh, we have a Forbes one. Okay. Forbes, we have workers are less productive. Fuck you. Okay, fine. Let's see if we can productive at least. Fuck. Can we like at least that's what their bosses think. Okay, so Forbes. So actually, that's not true. On average, remote work productivity was over 7% higher than in-office productivity, and this is Forbes talking. Business News Daily, productivity rising among employees who work from home. Why remote workers are productive. Are we really more productive working from home? Chicago Booth. Business.com, are employees more productive working from home? Let's take a look. The professional and mental differences between... According to a Buffer survey, 99% of workers would prefer to work remotely. Okay, that's obviously. Switching off from work may also be a problem. Da, 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 da. What does working from home mean? Oh my God, go away. God, so many fucking ads. Wait, is my ad blocker on? I need to check that. Outside, lunch breaks, some productivity benefits to work remotely. Da, 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 da. Bottom line, current climate is one of uncertainty. Okay, so this one, let's see. In fact, recent Gartner survey, 3 out of 4 of the financial executives questioned would consider moving 5%. Okay, I don't care about these people. Okay, so this article is kind of useless. Workers, traveler, oh, that's insurance. Vox, Americans who work from home are getting more productive. Yeah, they're, you know, just Google, just the first the first page of Google results are, you can get quite a few sources to give you the information. But for Elon, it's just why not? I want them in office.
And the whole sort of work from home thing, it's like, I think it's, look, there are some exceptions, but I kind of think that the whole notion of work from home is a bit like the fake Marie Antoinette quote, "Let them eat cake." It's like really.
I love the idea that this guy's justifying his mindset through a quote that's actually fake. Like through a quote that's like fake. He's like, all right, let me demonstrate this with something that's also untrue. That's my favorite thing. For him to like disregard like all studies and all findings, he will then quote a fake quote. Love that. I love that for Elon.
You're going to work from home, and you're going to make everyone else who made your car come work in the factory. You're going to make the people who make your food that gets delivered that they can't work from home.
Well, yeah, does he understand anything? That's how service economies work. That's also how manufacturing facilities work. There has to be people to make the cars. So yeah, that is kind of the physical labor. Do you want to know what the actual problem is with this? Like the idea that you would say like, oh, you gonna, can I do, I don't think I can do Musk's voice. Can I? Cause it's like, what is his voice like? It's like, you're gonna, let's see, you're gonna, okay, maybe this is, you're gonna make the people come in and who make the car have to build it with their own hands while you work from home. I don't know if that's actually a really good Musk voice. But yeah, like, first of all, you fucking idiot. The problem is not that there are people who do like scheduling and logistics and like all these other stuff. Like anybody who does like office jobs in like Tesla. The problem is not that those people get to work from home and the manufacturing labor has to come into the factory. That's not actually the problem. The problem is that if the people who are working from home are making more in a way that is rather egregious compared to the manufacturing labor is the actual problem, the compensation for that. Because if you're not going into the office anymore, right? If you are at home using your own internet, not accruing any of the travel costs, any of the, like food costs in terms of like, oh, you have to find somewhere to go out to eat. All of these extra things that compound on top of going into the office, then you should probably see some kind of, okay, you don't have to do those things now. You don't need, we can now afford that and allocate that money to the people who do come into the office or the people who do come in and do that manufacturing labor. There's a really easy way to solve this. It's you adjust the wages of the people who are working from home to account for the fact that they're not incurring travel costs, incurring food costs, or any of the other things. And you increase the wages and you compensate, you now take that little bit that you can from them and pay it to the people who are doing the performative labor, who are doing the manufacturing labor. That way, those people now get they get their little bump up for being the people who have to show up. If you want people to show up, then, you should probably either pay them a little bit more or compensate them for that. But either way, this isn't even it's not a moral issue. If they can do their job from home, then they should be allowed to do their job from home. There's no reason why they should have to be in the office unless there's a necessity for them to be there.
The people that come fix your house, they can't work from home, but you can?
Does
that seem morally
right? Yeah, you
right?
fucking idiot. This is the relation of service industry.
Issue? Yes.
I mean, I see it more as
it's a productivity issue, but it's also a moral issue.
It's a format issue. That what he's describing, what he's comparing is the managerial class and the service industry that supports that managerial class. Is it unfair? Absolutely. But the thing he's not asking for or even advocating for a fix, a solution, a reciprocal relationship between service industry workers and these managerial workers. He's not advocating for that. He's just saying, come into the office. That's it. That's absolutely it. There is no solution for the service industry worker. The service industry worker, if I'm delivering your food, if I'm making your cars, whatever, it doesn't affect me one iota. If you're at work or if you're at the office or you're at home, you're still going to call me if you want food. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter one bit. It doesn't matter at all. So this isn't even a solution to address some kind of any kind of inequality here. This is just this is just a weird power trip thing from him. There's nothing moral about this.
Moral high horse with the work from home bullshit, because they're asking everyone else to not work from home while they do.
Well, they do. I can't do his accent.
It's still going on. This battle.
He's got such a weird accent.
I mean, leaders of organizations, and I speak to plenty of them. I want people back. I want people back. 3 days a week, they're still battling. It's not clear that it's ever going to change.
And what for? The question you always kind of ask yourself is what for? What are the advantages? If productivity is up, right? If the actual productive labor is getting done at a better clip, at a better pace, if you are outputting a lot better work, then what is the necessity for people to come back in? And as far as I can tell, it's mostly just an aesthetic thing. It's a personal, I like having people in the office. And what I find, at least from my personal experience, is if your boss wants you in the office, but yet you are producing more, if not the same amount of work working from home, it's not because of your performance. It's because they want to micromanage. And because without people to lord over the position of being a boss in any office just isn't as attractive. It just isn't. What's a king without, what's a lord without his peasants? Let's be honest here. That is the relationship that he has here.
People are not coming back 5 days a week.
The laptop class is living in La La Land. Okay.
What if we just went to 4-day work weeks? No reason why we couldn't.
Look at the cars. Are people working from home here? Of course not.
Well, they have to build the cars, idiot.
People were, building cars, servicing the cars, building houses, fixing houses.
This is still service industry. This is still service industry.
That people
Did he just learn what the service industry is?
It's messed
he
up
never
to
thought of
assume
that.
That yes, they have to go to work, but you don't.
Again, as a cook at a restaurant, let me say this now. I don't give a fuck that people work from home who work in office jobs. What I have a problem with is that people who work from home for these office jobs, for a bunch of this this Tesla, for any of these, financial institutions, whatever, right? Any of these more like clerical jobs. The problem I have is the devaluation of people like my work, the cooks of the world, the people who feed every single one of you motherfuckers, Elon Musk included. And this is why I say he's not arguing for better pay, for better conditions, for a better relationship, for some more, for a better relationship between the managerial class, between the office working class and the service industry class. He's not arguing for any of this for any of us. My life doesn't get better because they go work back in the office. My life doesn't get affected at all. I still am getting paid the same, good, I get paid well enough, but overall in the service industry, in the industry that keeps the people of this country fed, people are underpaid constantly. The work, I had somebody in my fucking YouTube comments trying to make some snide comment about how burger flipping is not a, trying to do just a burger flipper or whatever. The disrespect that we as a culture here in the United States have for people who put food on every one of these motherfuckers' tables is the actual problem. It's not because some people get to have jobs that are mostly on computers and stay home. That's not the problem. The problem is those people get incredibly good wages compared to the people who are supporting everybody else. If you're working for some, whatever company, I don't know, I can't name fucking business companies. If you're working for Arrow, I have no fucking clue what they do. I think they do software. I have no idea they're a sponsor at the at Coors Field. If you work for Arrow, you work in an office, right? You probably get paid 60, 70, maybe even 80 up to 100K for going to the office, filling out some spreadsheets, doing some other stuff. Work that I don't think is unvaluable. But every single day, there are people who put on clothes, who wake up early, who prep food for hours, who slave over grills, who slave over fryers, who have to clean with dangerous what's the word? Commercial chemicals every single day, making sure that the people who make 100K a year working in some office, filling out spreadsheets, can get a decent lunch. And all we're asking is a little bit of a bigger piece of the pie, a more fair piece of the pie. I'm not asking for 100K, but it'd be nice if people who cooked food for everybody else in the society for a living was able to buy houses, able to actually have lives, be able to do, go out and actually do stuff. Most people I know don't make a whole lot in my industry. And for that reason, all end up just doing drugs and hanging out with each other all the time. That's most of the time what I see in my industry. So, I just want everyone to be in a better place. But that's not what Elon wants. Elon wants to have some peons that he can go bother at the office cubicle. Meanwhile, they're gonna do the same thing. They're still gonna buy Uber Eats. They're still gonna go to that restaurant down the street, and those people are still gonna get paid the same piffy wages they've always gotten paid.
How is that? That is, it's not just a productivity thing. I think it's morally wrong.
Although productivity is definitely impacted too.
Also, keep in mind, this is the guy who a lot of his money comes from the stock market, which owning stock is not working, is not value creation.
It's like,
so if you want to work at Tesla, you want to work at SpaceX, you want to work at Twitter, you got to come into the office every day.
Yes, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm saying look, put 40 hours in, and frankly, it doesn't even need to be Monday through Friday, you could work Monday through Thursday. And I'm also not saying no one should take, I think people should take vacations. I work 7 days a week, but I'm not expecting others to do that.
Yeah, and when he says 7, it's like, okay, what is working to you? Working to him is dicking around on his phone on Twitter, probably answering some emails, dicking around on his computer at Tesla. Like, at the end of the day, this is a guy who doesn't build anything. He's just the figurehead of some companies. He just stands atop everybody else's work and takes credit for it. Because he answers some emails, because he signs some paperwork, because he probably, emails his new CEO of Twitter. He calls that working. Every day I have to hear, oh, he works hard. Doing what? Answering phone calls, answering emails, dicking around, looking at code he halfway understands. Like, come on, this isn't work. If you're going to talk about like work, if you're going to really, really do this this moralistic argument of like work, I'll show you fucking work. You can come and do a shift at my restaurant and you can tell me how you feel about work. Like, if you're working 7 days a week, that tells me that your work is incredibly easy. Like, I would do this 7 days a week if I could. And I still wouldn't characterize it as like, oh man, I work like 7 days a week. Because I'd be like, no, I stream. I talk and I yell. Like, and I commentate on things. That's not working. That's not, it's not labor the same way that like his engineers are performing labor. Okay, 1 second. Let me, I'm quite parched. Let me go grab water. I'll be back in like a second. And we're back. Okay. Sorry about that. I just realized I forgot to grab my water before stream. And talking for the length of time that I do will wear on your voice. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the right. Twitter now. Cool.
Let's talk a bit about your tweets, because it comes up a lot. Even today, it came up in anticipation of this. I mean, you do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories.
Wow, this is some fucking muckraking journalism going on here. You seem to write some tweets that some say might sort of, kind of, possibly may be in support or maybe in the realm of conspiracy. Some say conspiracy or alleged conspiracy theories. Like just say it. You like, Why do you fucking respond and tweet support for conspiracy theorists?
Well, yes, but I mean, honestly, some of these conspiracy theories.
I can't do his voice. It's just not a thing I can do.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
What's true? I love like these guys, dude. Like it's just like he might as well this is the funny thing to me. A lot of these guys will literally just say the Hunter Biden laptop, to which the question always becomes, what about it? You just said the Hunter Biden laptop. Great. Love it. What happened with that? And is it what? It exists? Hunter Biden owned a laptop at some point? Is it the content on it? Like, what is it about the Hunter Biden laptop? But that's the thing, right? There isn't anything about it. There is no factual or interesting nugget of information pertaining to it. It's just a thing they say. It's just,
Blippity blop blop boop.
That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Every time somebody says Hunter Biden laptop, it's just
Blippity blop blop boop.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It might as well say nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened. That's election interference.
A terrible thing that happened.
How do you make a choice? You don't see. I mean,
and it's like, wait. So what's the thing that happened? Oh, the Hunter Biden laptop. People didn't hear about it. So Trump didn't win. And it's like, wait. First of all, can you prove that if people heard about the laptop, that it would have been true? Because the argument is always, well, if the Hunter Biden laptop story wouldn't have been suppressed, then Biden would have lost. To which case you have to ask, like, well, if a rock fell on Biden's head from like the fucking moon, he also would have lost because he'd have been dead. But that didn't happen now, did it? And when it comes to the Hunter Biden laptop story, okay, what information is it that would have led to Joe Biden losing? And considering we've seen some of the, nobody's been able to implicate Biden directly to any of this stuff. And considering, as far as I know, it all comes back to, oh yeah, he got some jobs because he's the vice president's son. Whoa, people peddling their political connections for jobs? Fucking color me shocked. It's not like it happens every day with every representative. Like, yeah, like your career is kind of contingent and can be, or not, maybe not contingent, but can be set up in a beneficial way to you if you have connections. That is, it's not, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not about what you know, it's who you know.
In terms of when you're going to engage. I mean, for example, even today, Elon, you tweeted this thing about George Soros. Well, I'm looking for it because I want to make sure I quote it properly. But I mean, you
didn't have the.
You basically.
It reminds me of my.
You didn't have the paper. God damn, dude. Is this the quality of journalism that CNBC has? Jesus.
It's just like, calm down, people. This is not like made a case out of it.
You also, you said he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization, and Soros hates humanity. Like, when you do something like that, do you
I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it?
Well, wait, what?
Why share it? Especially,
Okay, yeah, that's a dumb fuck question. The question isn't why share it. The question is, what basis do you have for that statement? Like, sure, you can say whatever you want. Yeah, you're right. It is a free country. You get to just say whatever you want. But the actual question here is why? What about George Soros? The answer is because he's Jewish, by the way. But what about George Soros to Elon Musk? Does he come to this conclusion? What drives him to come to this conclusion? Like, why would any, like, I say Matt Walsh is a demonic piece of shit who should be deported from the country. But I have reasons behind that. I at least can say, like, oh, I think his rhetoric is really damaging and he pushes active hate and violence towards marginalized communities in this country. That, you know, you can say like, oh, is that really grounds for deportation? And I would say, well, it might not be legally, but that's just my opinion, man. But like, at least like for fucking Elon, it's just like, oh well, I just said it, and it's and half of the problem with this is this fucking dumbass interviewer who's just like, oh, well, you know, why would you know what, like, why do you need to say that? It's like, why does anybody need to say anything? Don't ask him about why he says something. Ask him about the validity of what he's actually saying. He's a public figure. He's the owner of one of, if not the largest like mass communication platforms in the world. Ask him why he has access to so much information, boundless levels of information, and yet still says dumb shit and dog whistly shit like the Soros tweet. Like, that might be the actual question.
Why share it when people who buy Teslas
Thank you,
may
Wolf.
not
I did
agree
this
with
for you.
Advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you.
Also, it's hot in here. I don't want to wear my hat.
Why not just say,
It's
hey,
here in
I
spirit,
think this. You can tell me. We can talk about it over there. You can tell your friends. But why share it widely?
I mean,
Because I feel like
I'm allowed to say what I
You
want.
absolutely are. But I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it's got to.
like, it's not important why he shares it. I want to know how he came to this conclusion. I don't give a shit. Like, the dude is a fucking like billionaire fail son. He is going to do whatever it is he wants to do because he can. Because he's always been able to do whatever he wants to do. He's always been rich. He's always been fabulously wealthy. You know, he can do whatever he wants to do. The question is why, or furthermore, the question is how he got to the conclusion to actually throw that tweet out there.
It puts
God
you in
damn.
the middle of the partisan divide
Such
in the
fucking
country. It makes you a
stupid.
lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like
cares?
that? You know, people today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite, if anything.
Yeah.
I believe that probably is the case.
Yes.
But why would you even introduce the idea then?
Also, Elon's kind of one of those
would
dumb
be
people that I think would,
I mean,
like,
look,
doesn't
we don't
realize
like
that they
this,
are an
it goes far too
anti-Semite,
deep.
but when
No,
they say
God, no. I
Soros stuff,
don't want to at all.
they're
But
just saying,
what I'm
they're just
trying-
Nazi
even came up
posting.
though in the annual meeting. I mean, you know, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position because, and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or,
Wait,
you know,
no, that's, oh, God, this is such a bad interviewer. Who the fuck is this guy? The question is not if Tesla owners or if Twitter users like what he's saying. The actual question, if you want to make it about the companies, the question is if your language, if your Twitter activity negatively affects the companies you run, do you have a responsibility as the chief executive officer to use language that best reflects the company's interests? That's the actual question. There are people who work for you, Mr. Musk. Every time you go out and tweet some dumb fuck anti-Semitic shit, you cost Tesla, you costed, well, I guess Twitter now is public, but conceivably, like, less people use Twitter now, probably. That's like a vague guess on my part. I don't have facts to back that one up. But certainly, if you get into too much hot water as the figurehead of Tesla, you are going to lose us money in the stock market in valuation, meaning you are hurting the company. Do you have a responsibility to the people who work for you, who create the value that you live off of, to deliver results that keep them economically stable? Is that your responsibility? To which, let's be clear, his answer will be no. And his answer is going to be no because he's a capitalist. And under capitalism, Elon Musk can fucking take his company to the moon or take it to the fucking crater of Death Valley. It doesn't matter. It's his company. He gets to run it. If he wants to run it in the ground at the expense of every single worker who works for him, he can. And it's why I support democracy in the workplace. It's why I am a supporter of socialism as a system over capitalism. Like democratic work, this is why I argue and would argue for democratic workplaces, democratic control of workplaces. Because if you just have some psycho CEO like Elon Musk ready to kill the company over some nonsense Soros tweet, then like You, the worker who's creating value with your labor, should not be at the whims of this fucking moron. Like,
I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
the fucking brain on this guy. It's fucking hollow up there, man. I can hear the wind thrashing off of the inside of this fucker's skull. Jesus. Oh my God.
You know, I'm reminded of
Uh,
the scene in The Princess Bride.
I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this up so fucking much.
Great movie.
Great.
Did I just say Princess Bride?
Where he confronts the person who killed his father.
Princess
He
Diaries.
says,
Better movie. I'll die on this hill. Fight me.
Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
Dude, what is this LARPy bullshit? What is this? I haven't seen this movie, but what is this LARPy bullshit? Oh my God. This dude fucking lives in a fucking GIF, man. Elon Musk is a fucking living GIF. Like, I don't think he's human. I don't think he is. I think he's all code. He's made up. He's fictional. He's just really good CGI. No human can act like this and be real. There's just no way. There's no way. He has to be a fucking, like, synth. He has to be he's gotta be like that robot from iRobot. There's no other explanation. You cannot be this embarrassing of a, like, sentient being and still, like, appear in public. There's just no way. There's no way. He's not real. Elon Musk is fake. This is what I choose to believe from now on. He's just fake. He's not real.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say
Dude,
what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
The consequence isn't just you losing money, you fucking moron. There are people who work for your company. If it sinks, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let's just keep going.
Okay. But
Oh my
I mean,
God.
when you link to
Whenever
somebody
anybody
who's
tells you, by
talking
the way,
about
that they
guy
start a
who
business to
killed
create opportunities for
children
other
at a
people,
ball and
this is
now
actually how they think, by the way. Nobody actually
say
creates
something like it
businesses
might be a
to create
bad
opportunities
psyop.
for
I'm not quite
employment.
sure what
That's
you
just
meant, but-
that's just a thing that they say to market
In that
themselves.
particular case, there was somehow that's not that that obviously people were killed, but it was, I think, incorrectly ascribed to be a white supremacist
What?
action.
Wait, are we talking? What are we talking about?
That's not
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
in that particular case.
Not quite sure what you meant, but you say something like it might be a bad psyop. I'm not quite sure what you meant, but
Oh, is he talking about the fucking Allen shooting? Oh, you fucking moron. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, in that particular case,
Okay.
there was
He's got to do the thinking meme or fucking emoji.
somehow that's
Ay, ay, ay.
not that that obviously people were killed, but it was, I think, incorrectly ascribed to be a white supremacist action, and the evidence for that.
Okay, so for Elon, he's like, all right, look, do they have Nazi tattoos? Yes. Does that make them a skinhead? I don't know. But, like, dude, you get Nazi tattoos. You're a skinhead. I'm sorry. I don't care if, like, you know, you come from Mexico. There are Mexicans who can be racist. And if I remember correctly, like, what's the okay, I'm going to look up the picture of the dude who did the shooting, but I'm not putting it on screen because I don't want to give him, you know, I don't want to platform some fucking Nazi. But let's see, Alan Mall. Show me a picture of this fucker. Do we not have pictures of this guy? Do we only have, let's see. Service, memorial service. what we know. Yeah, show me. Can I? Oh, is that their name? Okay, let's see. Uh-huh. Wait, is this? No way. What is this? Is that the picture of the dude? Is this him? I mean, you know, he's got that like ugly ass look. So, I mean, it tracks that he'd be a fucking Nazi. But yeah, like, you know, as a Hispanic, we do fill out there is the non-Hispanic and Hispanic white categories that you can fill out in the census. So I wouldn't be surprised if and also it doesn't matter. You can be a Nazi and be Mexican. You can be a Nazi and be literally anything. The requirement is get a swastika tattoo. That's kind of the line that we draw here.
Was some obscure Russian website that no one's ever heard of that had no followers. And
well, obviously this guy heard of it.
The company that found this is Bellingcat.
Right.
And do you know what Bellingcat does? PsyOps.
Right. I couldn't really even follow exactly what it was you were trying to...
Like, okay, can you demonstrate that for me, please? Like, can you do something other than say that they do PsyOps? Like, this is the answer of somebody who doesn't actually know. They've just heard about it and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's really convenient for my narrative. Like, can you demonstrate that for me, please? And specifically with this story, because regardless of if they did like 10 PsyOps in the last like year, but like everything checks out for this, and also the police have already confirmed that the dude was a Nazi, then it sounds like they got it right this time. So
there, so that's in part why I was curious.
I'm saying that I thought the ascribing it to white supremacy was bullshit.
Okay.
And that the information
being a Nazi is
that
white supremacist
came from an obscure Russian website and was somehow magically found by Bellingcat, which is a company that's
not really magically.
PsyOps.
And there's no proof, by the way, that he was not.
There's no. I would say that there's no proof that he is.
He has swastika tattoos. He has an SS tattoo. What more do we need? I remember, like, this is, understand that the idiot who came on this show and tried to argue about the exact same topic, like what, a day or two after the shooting, that fucking moron, take that fucking moron and then give him billions, make him the second richest person in the world. And that's who Elon Musk is. Like, you know, they say money doesn't make you smarter, and goddamn, does Elon fucking prove it, man. You can have all the money in the fucking world and still be a fucking moron. Still be bereft of actual, what's the word? Of like actual facts, like actual information. Like, this dude can get any number of information, like an unlimited supply of context, info that he could get, but he just chooses not to. He just adopts whatever narrative is best for him.
And that's a debate you want to get into on Twitter?
Yes. Because we should not be ascribing things to white supremacy if it's false.
Ay. Can't believe. Stop. Oh, is this gonna be like a fan video? Is this a fan cam right now? Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is like, 1 second. Okay, the audio is scuffed on this also. Okay, I thought this would be, let's see. Oh, nope. I did not want C-SPAN. I'm sorry. I don't know how. Ay. Like, I think one of the more depressing things to think about. Oh, is this it? Oh, here we go. No, this is the exact same. What the fuck, Fox? Okay, yeah, I thought this would be a better source, but this is like actually Fox News. First Coast News. Did you guys get better audio? Oh, this is better audio. Okay, cool. Anyway, what was I saying? I just find it to be really like we absolutely live in like the worst fucking timeline. We live in the darkest timeline. Maybe not the darkest. We definitely live in one of the darker timelines. Because the guy who's, emerald mine, billionaire son, second richest man in the world, owner of the largest communicative platform on the internet, probably, at least, top 2 easily, a figurehead of a fucking space and electric car manufacturing company, all the things. Like, Elon Musk is and should be like the most inspirational, like smartest, like if we lived in the meritocratic world that we have always been told we live in, then Elon Musk would be our real life, our IRL Tony Stark. We could be living in this world where there's this guy, he's got just unlimited riches, he builds fucking spaceships and electric cars and everything in between. He hosts and he hosts the #1 communication platform in the world and all this stuff, and you think to yourself, man, the guy who does that must be like this, just this fucking dynamo of fucking charisma and energy and intelligence and everything else. And it's depressing to know that the people who sit atop our society, sit atop our planet in terms of the financial hierarchy, the people who can do anything, I mean this, anything. The man could end hunger. He could fucking build Ultron. I don't know. The dude can do literally anything. And what does he spend his time with? Somehow not putting together the simple fact that a dude shot up a mall. He had swastika and SS tattoos. He's probably a white supremacist. That guy, the richest, most capable to do literally anything on this planet person, can't put that simple equation together. Like, oh, it's depressing. It's depressing to think that these idiots, these morons, these clowns sit atop our society, our species, quite frankly. Should be embarrassing for all of us. Okay. Anyway. Okay. What we have next? Right. Let kids be kids. Okay. So, Ron DeSantis on, what day was this? Was it Tuesday? It was either Tuesday or it was yesterday, but I don't. Let kids. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Statewide, what the fuck is this? Oh. No, I don't want this. I just want to know when he signed it. That's all I want. I just want to know. Speaking at a press conference. I guess this was yesterday. When was this article posted? Yesterday at 10 a.m. Oh my God. Mountain time, which means 8. Okay, so he must have done this. Okay, so yesterday. Cool. I just didn't. I couldn't figure out what day. Man killed after getting shot in the stomach on North Lake Boulevard in Lake Park. Cool. So now I just add another one to the pot. Okay, so Wednesday, Governor of Florida Ron DeSantis signed into legislation what is being described as the Let Kids Be Kids package. It is a collection of 5 bills? Of 5 bills passed by by a combination of the Florida House and Senate, State Senate and State House, all aimed at curbing certain rights of children who might want to or might be eligible for what can be, I guess, vaguely described as transgender healthcare. So let's go take a look a little bit at his speech, and then we're gonna read the actual text of the laws. So let's get into it, shall we? Actually, maybe this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna bring this over here so I can keep an eye on it. We'll do this.
Okay.
This is about the best I could do in terms of audio. I think this one will be the best one.
For hosting us.
It's a bit uneven, but you know.
Great to be
Oh
in
boy,
Tampa.
did it at a Christian private school.
Y'all being
Shocker.
here. Got a lot of great legislation to sign today. Should be a great morning. Go ahead and grab a seat. You're in for some.
And keep in mind also, this guy is going to be running for president. So if anybody ever tries to tell you or gaslight you into thinking, oh, Ron DeSantis it's just one state, is really something we need to focus on, whatever, he's got a weird face and he kind of looks like a meatball. No, he does look like a meatball. But this is the guy who ostensibly is going to be leading the party after Donald Trump's departure, either from the party, politics, or this earth. So this guy is not, he is not insignificant in the realm of politics.
Some speeches from a few folks. We'll sign some bills. We have any kids in the audience? We may have pens for you too with some of that, so stay tuned.
Fun.
We'll make sure
You can
to do
sign
that. We're really excited
bills to
be
restrict
back
your
in
rights.
Tampa. You know,
That's cool.
I feel very strongly as governor, but also just as a dad of a 6, a 5, and a 3-year-old.
Oh my God, way too many kids.
We need to let our kids just be
Somebody
kids.
chop his fucking
And
dick
we have
off,
a very
please.
crazy age that we live in. There's a lot of nonsense that gets floated around, and what we've said in Florida is we are going to remain a refuge of sanity and a citadel of normalcy, and kids should have
a citadel of normalcy. My dude, you live in Florida. Please spare me. Look, no hate to Florida, but all the hate to Florida. I'm sorry. Florida's never been a normal state. It's always weird. I'm not ever going to be moved on this. You'll never make me like Florida.
an upbringing that reflects that. And I think that there's a lot of emphasis in other parts of the country and our society as a whole to take that away from them. And we're not going to let that happen here in Florida. And today is proof of that. So we're here in Hillsborough County, and you've seen different things happen right here. I mean, the parents found a number of pornographic materials here in schools funded by your tax dollars. And at one point, you even had the school board vote to not remove it, even though clearly was not appropriate for these young people. There have also been policies that make kids pick pronouns and even hide that from their
crazy.
parents. And then, of course, here in Cambridge Christian, they had to file a lawsuit against the Florida High School Athletic Association just to be able to pray before athletic games. And so
well, yeah, if it is a public school, that is an endorsement of religion, which there is a what's the word? You know, we do have a separation of church and state sort of thing going on.
I think all of that is problematic, and we're addressing all of that here today. And joining me today is our Commissioner of Education, Manny Diaz, as well as our...
Good evening, board. My name is Will Witt, and I'm here to read you an excerpt from a book called Lucky. He started humping me again wildly. The base of my spine was crushed into the ground. Glass cut me on my back and behind. He kneeled back. Raise your legs, he said. Spread them. He put a hand on each calf and pressed them out farther than I...
You know what I need to know is this person's reading this book. What age was this book for? If it's adults, then what's the problem? Does anyone even care? No, not really. Let's see the ins and outs of... Yep. Yep. Whoa, cartoons. Can you imagine kids drawing cartoon penises? Never in my life. I do love the look of this woman just holding up a book that says this book is gay. Like, I do love that because it is, this is reflective of what the actual attitude is. Is this outrage over, like, the book says it's gay. It's gay. I don't like the gay. That shouldn't be gay. Kids can't be gay. That's not how that works.
Healthcare Administration Secretary Jason Wida, and we've got a number of our legislators who've been involved in these bills that are here today. We have Senator Clay Yarborough and Senator Jay Collins from Jay is here local.
Can I see like a list of the actual
We have
books?
Representatives Randy Fine, Adam Anderson, Linda Cheney, Ralph Masulo, Robert Brackett, Jennifer Kennedy, Karen Gonzalez Pittman, Fred Hawkins, and Laura Saunders Plakin. Welcome to all the legislators, and thank you for being here.
I wish I could find a list of like the banned books.
We're also joined by Sean Minks, who's the head of Cambridge Christian School. I mean, they're trying to do sex.
Can we move on? Okay.
Last year, youth, and we're doing that in a number of ways here today. Some of the stuff is kind of sad that we even have some of these discussions. When you see what's going on, and we stopped it administratively in Florida last year, but we needed to have the legislature make this permanent. You have a movement amongst, I would say, rogue elements of the medical establishment to do things that is basically the mutilation of minors. I mean, they're trying.
Is he arguing that surgery is some kind of rogue? It's surgery. We've been performing surgeries for almost our entire existence.
Trying to do sex change operations on minors, giving them things like puberty blockers and doing
puberty blockers do not change your sex and also is not mutilation. They block your like puberty, like they pause your growth. That's all they actually do. Let's see. I want everyone to recognize this. How many minors sex change in Florida? Let's see. 8th state to restrict. Now, to any what's the word I'm looking for? You know, to any anybody who's right wing, whether you're watching this in the clip that it will eventually be in, or if you're in chat or anywhere, can you point me in the direction of these child sex change surgeries? Because
do it places like Sweden.
Oh
and
my
yet
God.
Here in the United States,
Sweden, why did you do this? Why did you buckle to political pressure? Now I have to hear about it every other day.
Within medicine that are really pushing these types of procedures on minors. We think that that is wrong. In Florida last year, we took action so that
All right. Since he mentioned kind of a bill, I'm assuming he's going to be referring to Senate Bill 253. Yep. Treatments for sex reassignment. Treatments for sex reassignment, granting courts of the state temporary emergency jurisdiction over a child present. Oh my goodness. No, we can leave this small. Present in this state if the child has been subjected to or is threatened with being subject to sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures, providing that for purposes of warrants to take physical custody of a child in certain child custody enforcement proceedings. Serious physical harm to the child includes, but is not limited to, being subjected to sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures, prohibiting certain public entities from expending state funds for the provision of sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures, prohibiting sex reassignment prescriptions and procedures for patients younger than 18 years of age, requiring the department to immediately suspend the license of a healthcare practitioner who is arrested for committing or attempting, soliciting, or conspiring to commit specified violations related to sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures for a patient younger than 18 years of age, etc. So, let's break this down piece by piece. All right. Granting courts for the state temporary emergency jurisdiction over a child present in the state, meaning that the courts, so normally the jurisdiction of like childcare usually runs under usually runs under the state after there's been like an investigation. This essentially would give states the emergency jurisdiction over anybody's child if the court feels or finds that they have been subject or threatened, which I like how they had to put threatened in there, of being subjected to sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures. So, what do they mean by that? What they actually mean is, so when they say sex reassignment prescriptions, they mean one thing and one thing only, because there's only one thing that under 18-year-olds are going to be getting in terms of prescriptions. It is hormone blockers, and closer to 18, but probably a little bit before 18, most likely around 15 or 16 maybe, cross-sex hormones, meaning, you'll be getting hormone blockers, when you're fucking, I don't know, like 13 maybe, and maybe around 16, you would then come to a decision on, if you were non-binary, if, how you wanted to develop, if you wanted to develop more as a girl, or if you want to develop, develop more into a woman or more into a man, then you would either, depending on what you started with, if you're born, if you were assigned male at birth, assigned man at birth, then you would just get off of the hormone blockers. You would, what's the word? You would develop as a man through your normal puberty, and that's it. Or if you decided that, woman would fit your identity more, then you go on estrogen and you do that for some time, and then you develop as a woman. And then after 18, then it's what other kind of healthcare can you seek to, expedite that process or kind of reinforce that process. But what they are talking about when they say reassignment prescriptions are going to be hormone blockers and hormones in general. Procedures. So the real question is going to be what they see as a procedure. My guess is, because it's so unspecific, a procedure can be anything like, let me look at the syntax. Procedure syntax. Or is it not syntax? Maybe that's not the word I'm looking for. Oxford, let's see. Yeah. Course of action, plan of action, which means, that's what I thought. Because procedure doesn't mean surgery. It also doesn't mean it just means a broad plan, right? Meaning that if you are if you're a young teenager, part of this, you could be separated from a parent, a guardian, whoever, by the state if you are subject or threatened to hormones, cross-sex hormone blockers, cross-sex hormones, or socially transitioning, because that is technically what can be counted as under a procedure. Providing that for purposes of warrants to take physical custody of a child in certain child custody enforcement proceedings, serious physical harm or to the child includes, but is not limited to, being subject to the sex assignment prescriptions or procedures, which is just, them saying, it just restating that and making sure that, hey, as long as there's harm and we define the harm as being subjected to these things. Prohibiting certain public entities from expending state funds for the provision of sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures. This is, again, if you got like hormones, like I remember growing up, there were kids who had to give their prescriptions to the like school nurse, in the school nurse's office, and they would have to go there to, you know, have them be like basically prescribed or used basically. I don't know if it was like regular stuff. But I do remember, you know, if you had allergies, stuff like that, like the nurse would take that sort of stuff, and they would hold on to it for you, and they would hold on the rest of your medical records. But also that would also include procedures, meaning that if you are a teacher who has a student who, you know, wants to go by, you know, an opposite gendered name, that is technically part of the process of socially transitioning, meaning that teacher could be singled out, or you could be separated from that teacher. That teacher could probably get in trouble, actually. I'm not sure if it calls for that. I know it says healthcare practitioner. It doesn't seem like there's anything. Yeah. Oh, well, it's just, prohibiting certain public entities. So I don't know what the you know, it doesn't spell out here what the you know, what the consequences would be for doing that. But it's basically, you would not allow, they will prohibit you from referring to your students by their preferred name if it's, you know, if it's a name that isn't their given name from their parents or from birth, which is, geez, freedom of speech, huh? Let's see. Procedures of patients younger than 18 years of age, requiring the department to immediately suspend the license of a healthcare practitioner who is arrested for committing or attempting, soliciting, or conspiring to commit specified violations related to sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures for a patient younger than 17 years of age. And this is pretty much if you are a health practitioner who is, you know, offering hormone blockers, offering cross-sex hormones, or suggesting socially transitioning, then you can have your license suspended and possibly be arrested for any number of these things. So that's just great. That's just wonderful. Fucking free Florida, right? Christ.
No physician that does those procedures are going to be able to keep their medical license. So
Like,
that's gone
they
if you
just
do this,
don't
which is
want,
great.
they just don't want kids who are trans to grow up. That's it. They just don't want them to.
But when we do the SB 254, this will permanent outlaw
Hey, that's the one,
the mutilation of minors.
It won't.
It will outlaw the surgical procedures and experimental puberty blockers.
Puberty blockers aren't experimental. We've been using them for decades. They're not new at all.
Minors. It will also require.
What's funny is also people will say, yeah, but we didn't use them for this specific use. It's like, it doesn't matter what the use is for. The fact, like, it doesn't matter if you take ibuprofen for a headache or a migraine. Like, it doesn't matter between those two things. It has a use. It will do whatever it does in those scenarios. If we find that hormone blockers helps people who want to transition later, then it's an off-label use. But that doesn't make it experimental. They're not experimental.
Adults receiving these surgeries to be informed about the irreversible nature and about the dangers of the procedures. It will give Florida courts temporary jurisdiction to intervene and halt procedures for out-of-state children. You have actually some.
What? Out-of-state children? What the fuck? Wait. Which bill is that? Education, protection of children. What the fuck?
States in this country that want to be a haven for these types of procedures will give Florida require any adults receiving these surgeries.
By the way, the history of hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, started in the 1960s with very high popularity in the 1990s. First clinical trials on HRT and chronic postmenopausal conditions were started in the U.S. in the late 1990s. This is not something we need to study. There is absolutely nothing in terms of hormone blockers that we need to be studying. But hit me with that again, Ronnie.
Be informed about the irreversible nature and about the dangers
That's
of the
nice.
procedures. It will give Florida.
Well, what's funny is this isn't informed. This isn't like he's not advocating or signing a bill for informed consent. He's advocating and signing a bill for no access. Like, this isn't a we want to give parents the information. This is a no, we don't want to give parents the option, regardless of their information, of their like information set.
The court's temporary jurisdiction to intervene and halt procedures for out-of-state children. You have actually some states in this country that want to be a haven for these types of procedures and even welcome minors without their parents' consent into some of their jurisdiction. We're obviously doing the opposite here, and I think this provision's important. This is going to create a way to recover damages for injury or death resulting from mutilating surgeries or these experimental puberty blockers that are given.
Again, if you'd like to show me just deaths due to this, I'd love to see it, but it doesn't exist. Also, is he talking about SB? Okay, so again, I have all of them up here. So what, SB 1438, protection of children, prohibiting a governmental entity from issuing a permit or otherwise authorizing a person to conduct a performance in violation of specified provisions, providing criminal penalties, authorizing the division of hotels and restaurants of the Department of Business and Professional Regulation to fine, suspend, or revoke the license of any public lodging establishment or public food service establishment if the establishment admits a child to an adult live performance. Okay, no, this is something else. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about then. I was wondering if it would be the protection of children, but is it this? How would this affect other states? Conspiring. Interesting. Maybe it's like this, you can't take somebody out of state to seek this care, I guess. I'm not.
To a minor. Because what happens, they go through this, then they get older, and this is a huge problem. They should be able to sue the physician who hurt them, and they're now going to be able to with this law. So that's the first law that we're going to be signing today.
Couldn't they already do that? Is that like something new? Like, can't you already seek damages for that sort of stuff under the normal auspices that we already have?
The other law, HB 169, I think is very important. It's basically an expansion of last year's parental rights in education
SB
bill.
169?
But crucially, this bill
I think he means 1069.
makes sure that Florida students and teachers will never be forced to declare pronouns in school or be forced to use pronouns not based on biological sex. We never did this through all of human history until 2 weeks ago. Now this is something they're having third graders declare pronouns. We're not doing the.
Wait, I don't get it. Kids already use pronouns. They already say he, him already. I don't get what I don't understand is what the difference is here. Like, growing up, we used pronouns as children. He doesn't understand that, right? Okay, let's read 1069, shall we? Education. Okay, let's see. General bill by Education and Employment Committee, Education Quality Subcommittee, don't care. A bunch of, co-introducers, a bunch of fascists. Okay. Education defines sex for Florida Early Learning 20 Education Code, provides requirements relating to titles and pronouns, revises provisions relating to instruction and materials for specified instruction related to reproductive health, provides additional requirements for instruction regarding human sexuality, provides district school boards are responsible for, wait a minute. Instruction related to reproductive health, okay. For specified instruction, provides additional requirements for instruction regarding sexual or human sexuality, meaning the state has decided there is literally a defined, a politically correct definition of human sexuality. Interesting. Provides district school boards are responsible for materials used in classroom libraries. Revises provisions relating to objections of certain materials and process related to such objections, revise a school principal. Okay, can I like see the actual bill? View summary. Here we go. Okay, here we go. The bill includes provisions designed to protect children in public schools. The bill includes requirements for age-appropriate and developmental appropriate instruction for all students in pre-kindergarten through grade 12. Grade 12? Okay, requires for age appropriate. Also, what's age appropriate? Like, what is and isn't age appropriate is very, very subjective. Includes requirements for specified terminology and instruction relative to health and reproductive education in schools, and requires that all materials used in such instruction be approved by the Department of Education. Lovely. Extends the prohibition on classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity to pre-kindergarten through 8th grade. Okay. Lovely. Jesus. Let's see. Like, keep in mind also, that means you're not getting sex ed until what? 9th fucking grade? Like, to talk about sex ed, you have to talk about sexual orientation. You and like gender also, identity also. These are all things that are related. Like, that means not until 9th grade. How old are people in 9th grade? Because what I was 18 when I graduated, so what? 15, possibly 14? 14 years until you get some semblance of sex ed? The bill prohibits district school boards from imposing or enforcing requirements that personnel or students be referenced with pronouns that do not correspond with biological sex as defined in the bill. So understand, biological sex as defined by the bill is a politically correct definition. Like, that is the state-sponsored, the state definition of sex. Whatever that definition is, which I don't know if it's in here. We can find it maybe. PDF. No. Summaries. Okay, we'll look for it. But yeah, like, that's what this is. This is like, when they say as defined by the bill, that means as defined by whoever the fuck wrote the bill. Not by scientists, not by psychologists, not by sociologists, not by people with an understanding of the field, just whatever dumb fuck Republican got voted into the office by some dumb fuck swamp living troglodyte in the same county. Like, that's who's defining sex for everybody in this state now. Jesus. Let's see. The bill prohibits enforcing requirements, personnel to be students. And keep in mind, it's students too. Like, if you're a student, you're not allowed to refer to somebody by the pronouns that they prefer. The bill enhances the process for transparency and review of library and classroom materials available to students in public schools, and the process for parents to limit students' access to materials and make objections to materials. So keep in mind also, I think somebody, there was a parent, I think in one of the Carolinas who came forward about this. Like, this is literally allowing parents of one stripe decide what is and is not what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Appropriate for everybody's kids. Like, think about this. Think about this. If you are a parent and you have some like cringy, like, you know, some cringy backwater, Christian fundamentalists coming in here and saying nothing in this school, in this library is appropriate. We need more Bibles and everything else. Like, you're giving people like that the power to constantly shift what is appropriate for everybody else's kids, regardless. Like, if I'm a parent, I can decide what's appropriate for my children. I don't need other parents to tell me what's appropriate. Like, the way libraries are supposed to work is kids and adults go to them. They pick out books that aren't restricted. Like, kids can pick out adult books and adults say, you're not ready for that, pick something else. Like, that's how libraries work. They're not supposed to be these censored annals. That's not what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to have all, like, the entire spectrum of material so that people have a broad, like, people have broad access to as much information, as much literature as they can. But these people don't want that. You know, they don't like all material. You know, they only want the material that they find to be acceptable. It's fucking authoritarian. That's what it is. The bill requires, like, the idea that say it's authoritarian to allow a book involving gay people in a school. That's authoritarian. But it's not authoritarian to ban books of a certain political stripe and ideology is insane. The bill requires the suspension of materials alleged to contain pornographic or obscene depictions of sexual conduct as identified in current law, pending resolution of an objection to the material. A district school board must also discontinue the use of any material the board does not allow a parent to read aloud. Lovely. Like, go into a library. You're going to find a lot of objectionable, like, you're going to find books where characters have sex. Like, it's just kind of a thing that we as humans write. The bill requires that meetings of committees to resolve objections must be noticed and open to the public, and provides an appeals process through a special magistrate. If approved by the governor or allowed to become a law, the governor says, yeah, July 1st. Yeah. So, you know, everybody who lives in Florida, get the fuck out by July 1st. That's what I can recommend for you. Also, bill text. I want to know, Control F. Let's see. An act defining the term sex, amending, I want to know what their definition is. Okay, here we go. Definition: sex means the binary division of individuals based upon reproductive function. Lovely. Paragraph or subsection. Used to teach reproductive health. Throughout the instruction is required immune deficiency syndrome section. Okay, so literally their definition is binary division of individuals based upon reproductive function. What if you can't do that? Like, what if you're born without the function of being able to get pregnant? Also, again, like, this is one of those cases where they've decided that sex and gender mean the same thing, and since they can't definitionally put gender in here without acknowledging that, they just won't. So they'll just say that sex is about the division between reproductive functions, even though what makes somebody's sex isn't just your reproductive function. Is the only thing that makes you a woman, or even a female, the ability to bear children. Is that the only thing? Like, anyway. Anyway, let's go back.
Pronoun Olympics in Florida. It's not happening here, and so.
And like I said, they have to make it about sex, even though it's about people's gender identity.
And so that will be protections for people. Again.
Also, what's the harm?
Kids be kids. Let them be in school like normally, and it's inappropriate to force them to try to choose these pronouns. And
what's weird also is it's like nobody. First of all, we force them. I was forced to use the pronouns of he, him growing up. We didn't even have this conversation. At no point somebody said to me, hey, would you prefer he, him pronouns, or like she, her pronouns, or they, them? Like, is there a preference that you might have? And like, that wasn't an option given to me. It never was. I was just always a him, always, he. It's like, how is this damaging also? Because kids are going to eventually need to use pronouns. Don't you think it's expedient to use pronouns that people aren't uncomfortable, having referred to them under? Like, I would think
to do
that's
that. This also expands what we had last year. They said no sexuality or things like transgender ideology or gender theory in grades K through 3. Actually, what you saw is some people are trying to jam it into pre-K to get around that law. So this says pre-K and also goes up to grade 8, because I think what we've seen in these libraries and in some of the books, there's clearly a concerted effort to try to do indoctrination in the middle school grades. And so the legislature, I think, has looked at that evidence and wisely said that, you know, on those issues, if a parent wants to engage in that with their kid at those late ages, then that's up to them. But we should not be putting that in the curriculum in school. And so we're not.
That also, okay, so we've read them so far. Nowhere in here have I seen curriculum. All I've seen is the expending the funds for the provision of sex reassignment procedures, which again is going to mean socially transitioning. Nowhere in here do they define that it has to be part of curriculum, and nowhere do they define that any of this has to be like, oh, it needs to be, it's taught, you know, it has to be taught. It's all, you can't bring it up. All of it is just, if you bring it up, you're banned from talking about it. All right.
Not doing that. We're going to be focusing on math.
Like remember the definition that they said, which was biological, or what was it, reproductive function, defines sex for Florida Early Learning 20 Education Code, provides requirements relating to titles and pronouns, provides provisions relating instruction and materials for specified instruction relating to reproductive health, provides additional requirements for instruction regarding human sexuality, meaning you can't deviate from the definition that they have chosen, and provides district school boards are responsible for materials used in classroom libraries, revises provisions related to objections of certain materials and processes related to such objections, revises school principal, school district, and district school board duties and responsibilities related to certain materials and processes. Yeah, so like they're just lining everything up. So it's, you have to go by this definition. You cannot deviate from it. It's not about if you teach it. It's not about if it's in curriculum. It's not about any of this shit. It's just, if you bring it up, that's how you trip on the law. And we'll know it because if you bring it up and somebody brings it up to the school board meetings, you know, then there's going to be some consequences.
Focusing on reading, we're going to focus on science. We're focusing on the subjects that really matter for our kids. So that's really important. Third bill, HB 1438. And this is sad that you kind of have to do this. You know, there's these adult performances. There are these, like, you know, these drag shows, sexually explicit in what they're doing. And look, adult entertainment, you know, people can do what they want with some of that. But to have minors there, I mean, you'll have situations where you'll have like an 8-year-old girl there, where you have these like really explicit shows, and that,
like, this guy's talking about focusing on science and math and everything else. Florida has never matched the U.S. average scaled score on 8th grade math and AEP. In COVID March 2022, Florida's 8th grade scale scores in reading and math both lost 8 points relative to the national average. Like, Florida's already doing a shit job of what's it called? Of like education. Let's see. Actually, let me look. I see something contradictory. Let's see. Florida's education system is vastly underperforming. When was this? This is 2023. Where does Florida rank in quality of education? Let's see. Index gave Florida its overall top ranking. Also rating Sunshine State #1 for digital and personalized learning and education. Okay. Set up for success. Set up for students. Okay. What is education? Today, Commissioner. That seems... I'm actually really skeptical about that. Let's see. Am I just wrong? Am I like full of shit? Education. States with the best education. Let's see. Okay. #1 in higher education. 14th in pre-K. What are these from? World study. A world report. Interesting. So why is the Tampa Bay Times saying? Let's see. A close look at the nation's report card. Stop. Go up. Nation's report card shows Florida fails its students as they move up through the grades. Florida has the nation's worst learning rate. Shades of blue show states with below average. Where are they pulling this data then? Source, the Educational Opportunity Project. Oh, Stanford. Shit. Okay. Oh, wow. Learning rates by state. Amount learned per grade relative to U.S. average. So, let's see. Wow. Florida. Jesus. Florida's really low. Let's see. Florida students learned 12% less each year, greater than the national average from 2009 to 2018. The next worst state was Alabama. Contrast that deafening silence with the hype of the interpretations that come with the release of the NAEP, the nation's report card. When the results came out last fall, Ron DeSantis crowd on Twitter that we kept schools open in 2020. Today's NAEP result once again proved that we made the right decision in Florida, the number one in both reading and math. Okay, here we go. Telling DeSantis ignored the 8th grade results, which came out far worse than 4th grade, just as they have in every NAEP cycle since 2003. The nation's report card is a snapshot of group proficiency taken by different cohorts of kids, every 2 years in reading and math in 4th grade and 8th grade. It produces state-by-state results and proficiency rankings. It does not track individual kids year over year, but it does tell you how Florida's 4th and 8th graders compare with students in other states. I crunched the data, and here's the bottom line. Florida students perform worse as they move up through the grades. There is consistent, massive systemic regression with age, and the gap is widening. This is a state failure. Okay, let's see. Florida kids regress dramatically as they age in the system. Since 2003, Florida's 8th grade rank as a state has never come close to the 4th grade rank in any NAEP test in any subject. The size of Florida's regression is dramatic and growing, especially in math. Florida's overall average NAEP state rank regression between 4th and 8th grade since 2003 is 17 spots math and 18 spots reading. But since 2015, the average are 27 spots math and 19 spots reading. Let's see. Florida versus Massachusetts. Which one's which? Oh, Massachusetts is black. Oh, Jesus. I thought that was the end of the bar. Christ above. Florida has never matched the U.S. average scaled on high. Oh my God. In COVID March 2022, Florida's 8th. Let's see. Top 10 ranking in 4th grade into 8th grade from 2019 to 2022. Reading. Let's see. Massachusetts went first to first. Florida went first to 22nd. Oh, I understand this. Okay. So they're looking at kind of a much broader picture of like how people do in the beginning and then how they continue to like perform. Yeah, so in 2019, oof. Fucking, that means they're doing like good in the younger years and then just shit later on. Isn't really, let's see. 2nd in reading drops all the way down to 18th. 4th in math drops all the way down to 31st. Okay, well, I'm glad I decided to read the Tampa Bay article now. Anyway.
That is just inappropriate. And I think in Florida, what we've said, and we've taken some action administratively already against some of the offending establishments, but the reality is we needed the legislature to come in and really, really clarify that if you are an establishment that's having adult performances, you have an obligation to make sure that these young kids are not permitted in the premises. And we're going to hold you accountable if you're not meeting that obligation. You know, there's certain things we would never say it'd be okay, you know, to have a 12-year-old.
All right, let's read it. Protection of children. We actually already read this a little bit, but prohibiting a governmental entity from issuing a permit or otherwise authorize a person to conduct a performance in violation of specified provisions, providing criminal penalties, authorizing the Division of Hotels and Restaurants of the Department of Business and Professional Regulation to fine, suspend, or revoke the license of any public lodge, establishment, or public food service establishment if the establishment admits a child to an adult live performance. So, what the fuck? Okay, 1 second. What the fuck is Florida. Okay. Well, actually, no. Let's look up the text really quick. What is a this one? What did they say? Adult live. Let's actually do performance. All right. Means any show, exhibition, or other presentation in front of a live audience, which in whole or in part depicts or simulates nudity, sexual content, or sexual excitement, or specific sexual activities as those terms are defined in lewd conduct or the lewd exposure of prosthetic or imitation genitals or breasts when it predominantly appeals to a prurient, shameful, or morbid interest. Okay. Very patronizing language there. Is patently offensive to prevailing standards in the adult community of this state as a whole with respect to what is suitable material to conduct. Okay, that's just an appeal to fucking prudes. Makes sense. Taken as a whole is without serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. Oh, I love that. I love the state deciding whether something is literarily, artistic, or politically, or artistically, politically, or scientifically valuable to you, to a child. I love that. Quote, knowingly means having general knowledge of, reason to know, or a belief or ground for belief, which warrants further inspection or inquiry of both. The character and content of any adult live performance described in this section, which is reasonably susceptible of examination by the defendant, and the age of the child, a person's ignorance of the child's age. Okay, cool. Love that. Love that. Exposing children to adult. Yeah, so let's see. Exhibition or other presentation in front of which depicts, simulates nudity. Okay. I need to know. I need to know. Ay. I'm going to take the first thing that comes up. I need someone to tell me. Is this, what is it again? Is this simulating nudity? Is this sexual? Is this sexual excitement? Is that anything, any way you would describe this picture? I see a absurd amount of makeup, a wig, and a plaid shirt, and whatever that is. I don't know what that's called. The like cowboy tassel things. But like, what about this is sexual? I just don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Is this sexual too? What I guess the better question also is what isn't sexual at this point? Like, what isn't sexual to these people? Is this sexual? A person wearing a dress, their arms are showing, is that sexual? Like, we live in a fucking hell world. Yes. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway.
At some of these things. And so we want to make sure that is uniform. When you have adult entertainment, when you have these sexually explicit performances, there should not be any of these kids there. And this is going to make sure that that's the case. And so HB 1438 will be signed into law momentarily. We also
keep in mind this will simply be used. And again, let's be really clear. The idea that if a kid at some point enters, either with like, you know, whether the person putting on the event knows it, whether they do, whether they don't. I saw there was a provision in there that it looked like it didn't even really matter if you didn't know. But you can have your entire business license just revoked, just completely revoked, if somebody comes to you with complaining. And keep in mind, there are going to be there's a reason why this bill was put in place, and it's not because they're worried about kids seeing people dressed in silly outfits. It's so that when protesters show up to drag shows, when protesters show up to family-friendly drag shows, they can point and scream and say that's sexual content. That, you know, they can do all of their Karen screaming, and that business can have their license revoked. They don't have to prove any of it. They can just point to it and say, nope, that's, you know, I think we read it earlier. It's, you know, if it's deemed not appropriate by the community, to which it's like, all right, well, that's pretty fucking subjective. And considering the idea that, like, and the whole point is that they want to, it's not even about how many people will do that, how many people will show up to, you know, drag shows, family friendly or otherwise, and protest and complain about them. It is simply, this law is going to be signed into law. This bill is going to be signed into law. It's going to end up putting pressure and forcing, you know, out of like a concern for safety, any venue that wants to put on a drag show, family friendly or otherwise, to not do that. This will have a chilling effect on the on these kinds of events in the state of Florida. That's just what's going to end up happening. You know, more of the, you know, pride events that come up in, you know, we'll really have to see. I guess, when is it? It doesn't take effect until, you know, it doesn't take effect until July 1st. So they're going to get through all of Pride Month. But the big question is going to be, you know, once, and honestly, now that I think about it, my conspiratorial mind, and this is pure conjecture on my part, but I feel like they're making sure, because none of these go into effect until July 1st. Correct? I'm pretty sure about that. Effective date? No. Okay, so the protection of children one goes through. Oh wait, no, that's the one. Shit, never mind. What am I saying? I'm full of shit. I was clicked on a different one. Appearing that he or she is maintaining a license. Yeah. This goes into effect immediately. This is already into effect. So Pride Month in Florida, they're gonna have to be looking out for you know, any number of this kind of wacky ass, you know, any of these like fucking psychos who consistently, you know, protest these drag shows. They're going to be looking out for these people and probably going to be like trying to host less of them. Same with the hormone therapy stuff. That's also going through. That's also already gone through. The only ones that look like they don't go through until July is the school ones. And yeah, so all the school related ones go through the 1st of July, probably lining up with the end of the school year, I would guess, but I'm not sure. But yeah, whereas, you know, the drag shows and the, and like people being able to get, healthcare are all going to go through immediately. God, fucking gotta love that.
Also going to sign HB 1521, which is ensuring women's safety, making sure that educational institutions, detention facilities, correctional institutes, juvenile facilities, and public buildings with a restroom, locker room, or changing facility, that they must have separate facilities for men and women based on biological sex. A woman...
Oh my God, my ear.
A woman should not be in a locker room having
it would
to
be
worry
female, you
about
fucking
someone
idiot.
from the opposite sex being in their locker room. And it's happening with athletics, with our girl athletes and women athletes, also with some of these other things, whether it's a prison situation, whether it's just these restrooms. You know, we want to make sure that our girls and our women are protected. And so this bill does that and makes sure that they're not going to be exposed to situations that...
You know, I would ask, what about trans men? But let's be honest here. They don't give a fuck about trans men. Nobody ever talks about trans men. It's very obvious. And this is also a, you know, it's very obvious why they always focus on women. And it's because they're patriarchal. Because they think their job is to protect the women. That and it's mainly because if that wasn't their purpose, as men, what would they have to do? You know? A man's purpose is to protect the frail, fragile women who are incapable of defending themselves. All right, let's read this one now. Facility requirements based on sex provides requirements for exclusive use of restrooms. Sorry. And changing facilities by gender. Okay. Prohibits willfully entering restroom or changing facility designated for opposite sex and refusing to depart when asked to do so. Provides requirements for exclusive use of domestic violence centers by gender. Provides requirements for correctional institutions. Requires entities that receive state licenses to submit compliance documentation. Authorizes Attorney General to bring enforcement actions. Provides exceptions for individuals born with certain genetically or biochemically verifiable disorder of sex development. So let's keep in mind also, this entire bill is unenforceable. This will literally do nothing except what you are going to see, what my big prediction is, and you know, you can call me crazy on this one, but what we are going to see is, for the most part, nothing happen, because if you are a trans woman, you probably like pass a little bit. So most likely there's not gonna be other women in those restrooms who are going to be all that bothered. Also in women's rooms, it's mostly stalls. What you are going to see are really fucking weird, like just fucking like loser ass women who go into restrooms and feel intimidated by either masculine looking women or black women. And they're going to use that as a justification to tell them to leave. They've done it in the past. They'll do it again. And what's going to happen is we're going to we're going to have that situation where they'll say, you need to leave. You don't belong in here. And a cis woman with, like, you know, who for whatever reason to that person doesn't look like a cis woman to them is going to go, no, this is my bathroom. You can fuck off. And then what? Then what do we do? What do we do? We get the police, and then what? The police genital search the woman making the accusation and the woman who's accused of being in the wrong restroom. This is untenable. This isn't a thing that we're actually going to see happening. This is, for the most part, this is going to be used in very few cases, and it'll be used primarily by a bunch of weird Karens and racists. That's pretty much it. And we're not going to actually see anything meaningful come out of this specifically, except the only thing meaningful that will come out of it will be a further disenfranchisement of trans people. At the end of the day, they're just going to be stigmatized for using the restrooms that comport with their gender identity. That's really it. There's really nothing that's going to come out of this. It's going to be possible to fool that many people. Dude, have you seen trans women? Trans women are not possible. They probably wouldn't get called on it, though. Well, yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going, like, God, I hate trying to, like, I don't like using my points, but No, I don't want to do it. Well, actually, no. I know who to use. I know who to use that I won't feel bad about. I know exactly who to use. Who I won't feel bad about. Who I don't mind using as a, not as a punching bag or anything, but like just as an example. I don't like, let's see. Sure. Like, I'm sorry, but if this woman enters into your restroom, are we really going to, you're not going to be able to tell, and you won't tell anyway. Only people who like don't pass perfectly. And again, that's all down to like everybody's individual ability to like read people and their identity. Like, and we're leaving this to normal people. And that's why I'm saying it's untenable and it's going to be abused by like randos. Nothing good is going to come from this. No lives are going to be saved. We don't have some rash of assaults or abuses by trans women on cis women in bathrooms. This is meaningless. This is only going to be put in place to disenfranchise and demonize an entire community of people. Check is going to be less possible. So, yeah. Not only be awkward, but like, imagine when you're wrong, how fucking stupid you're going to look. That's like also the big thing. Anyway, ooh, I see we're on red right now. How wonky, let's see, how wonky is the stream right now? According to my thing, we're down a bit. Oh, we're down kind of well, actually not as much as you would expect. What is going on with the internet now? Wish I had more steady internet. Anyway, well, we'll see if we can wrap this up quick. I think we only have like one more to do. Yeah, he's only got one more to do, so.
That are not in their best interest. And then finally, HB 225, expanding
Oh,
access
look at that.
to youth sports. This is going to do a number of things. One, it's going to allow private school, virtual school, and homeschool students to participate in sports and extracurricular activities at public or private schools, regardless of their zip code. We think it's important that they're able to do that, and this is going to expand that ability here in the state of Florida. It also preserves the First Amendment right to speech, including public prayer, at the beginning of high school sporting events. How do we get into a situation, and you're going to hear the from the school here about not allowing prayer before a game. The athletic association.
Well, yes, if it's a public entity, it is an endorsement, or at the very least a platform of a specific religion, something that we have a history of not being very friendly to. Let's read really quickly. Interscholastic activities, authorizing charter school students and Florida virtual school full-time students to participate in extracurricular activities at a private school under certain circumstances, authorizing charter school students in Florida virtual school full-time program students to participate in interscholastic extracurricular activities at private schools under certain circumstances, authorizing traditional public school students to participate in interscholastic and intrascholastic activities in certain schools, revising the requirements for students to participate in such activities. Okay, so this one kind of isn't really all that interesting. Like, this one doesn't seem all that fancy, all that relevant. Related to, okay. By sport, participate in the championship contest or series. Ooh, wait, actually, a lot of times, I just thought about this. A lot of times we hear people have like problems with, like I hear all the time about how unfair it is for cis women to compete against trans women. In sports, right? Like that's like a whole thing. They're like, oh, well, like it's unfair, and there's like a biological threshold that has been passed that we think is unfair, which I don't want. I think there is an argument that there is some kind of like biological threshold that we could quarter off, but even that I'm skeptical of. But more or less, the better question, I think, is what am I thinking right now? I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, fairness. But, like, we talk about fairness, but is it fair for public school students who have to be funded by, by public, by public funds, meaning if you go to kind of a shitty county school, if you go to a low-income neighborhooded school, you're probably not going to get as good of equipment, not as good of training, not as good of resources as kids in private school. That's unfair, but somehow that's like okay. It's weird to me that we seem to make that there's an argument always to be made about fairness between biology, but not fairness from of like resources, right? Like we've all seen like movies or TV shows or whatever where there's always the rich private school who has all of the resources and they fucking cream all of like the public school kids because they have all the shit resources. Like that's unfair, but why is that not something that we're like, why is that an unfairness that we're okay with? Like the economics of fairness doesn't seem to be something that we concern ourselves with. It's for whatever reason the biology, even though like in sports, what we are primarily performing is is the unfairness of athletic acumen. Like there's not always I don't know, it's just weird to me. Like you're okay with the rich kids facing the poor kids who have untold numbers of dollars of extra resources and everything else, but letting like a weakened born male student who's been on estrogens for some time, it's a big deal for them to compete and especially with Leah Thomas. I talked about this in the Riley Gaines segment we did last week. Riley Gaines tied with Leah Thomas, and then they both got beat by 4 other women. So it's obviously not a case where, Leah Thomas is crushing it, just crushing every woman in her path. She's competing like Riley Gaines, like on par literally with Riley Gaines, a cis woman. And on par means not as good as 4 other of them. So I don't know. It's just like sports are always unfair. Is it unfair that Michael Phelps has like an ungodly wingspan? No, but it's kind of life, right? But like we don't seem to think that that's inherently unfair. I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, okay, so this one's kind of a lot more boring, but we'll hear him out for the rest of it and then getting out of here.
Somehow putting the kibosh on. I'm sorry, you have a right to free expression of religion. If government is denying your right to say a prayer before the game,
well, you
they
can't,
are infringing.
Well, wait there. Hold on, Ronald. You personally can pray all you want. It's about if the school or the public entity, specifically if it's a public entity, were to signal boost or platform your religious ideology. That's the actual problem. If a coach, I think I remember there was like a story about like a coach who prays at like the 40-yard line or 50-yard, whatever it is for football, in the end zone in football after like football games down in the South. And it's like, look, dude, if that's what you do after the game, I got no problem. Where I have a problem is if you would like to blare that prayer over the loudspeakers that everybody in that community pays for. That's where I have a problem. Once public resources are being used to promote or even signal boost a specific religion, that's where we run into separation of church stuff. But if you personally do it, then no, you shouldn't be arrested unless you're Ron DeSantis, in which case you should always be arrested for everything you do, especially eating pudding, apparently.
Speech, you're not violating anything by doing that. And so for them to do it is discriminatory. So we're making sure, and the idea that we would have to litigate this in court is really, really unbelievable. So Sean Minks is going to come talk about, what they did here. But it's sad that we in this country have a high school coach from Washington State after the game, just would go to the midfield in football, say a prayer. Some people wanted to do it, some didn't, that's fine. So he leads people that wanted to do it in prayer, and he got suspended from his position by the school system up in Washington State for that. He had to go all the way up to the U.S. Supreme.
Oh, this is a good one. Okay. This is actually a pretty good one. We were mentioning earlier, like, are you going to be asking this woman for proof of their biological sex? At the end of the day, this is what I meant about the bathroom. The bathroom law doesn't mean anything. It's unenforceable. It's fucking stupid. It's only there to stigmatize trans people. It's not there to actually solve any problem, mainly because there's not a problem to solve. But like, if you saw this woman, would you stop her in the bathroom and excuse me, ma'am, I need to see your genitals before you go to the bathroom in this private stall that we all go into our individual private stalls in? Like, it's fucking stupid.
Supreme Court to be able to get his job back and to say that you didn't do anything wrong. So we're going to make sure
I think that's
we're
actually the same
protecting
story.
people, and we're making sure that they have the ability to speak and to pray, as they see fit as individuals. And part of the way we're going to be able to do that is we have a high school athletic association, Florida High School Athletic Association, and it's not really subject to much accountability. It's kind of just been there as a private body. What this bill does is it imposes oversight over it. It allows more gubernatorial appointments and
lovely,
and
more
part
more
of the reason
executive
we need to
control.
do that is
That's great.
we passed 2 years ago the Fairness in Women's Sports Act to say we're going to make sure our girls and our women athletes are able to compete with integrity.
Why is it only
And you
women
can't
athletes?
be
Seriously.
competing on the men's team for 3 years, switch to the women's, and what? All of a sudden you're the champion? That is not.
Wait, what about if women would like to compete against men? Like if cis women want to compete against men? That's, in their mind, that's inherently unfair. Should that not be allowed because we shouldn't let men play in an unfair field where they have an advantage? Like, it's so weird to me. It's like, why is one of these and I mean, their concern is, again, it's patriarchal. That's why they're never ever interested in trans men competing in men's sports, or even women who want, or cis women who want to compete in men's sports. Like, I've known a few. They were capable and perfectly good at it. But unfortunately, this is the conception of how they see women. They see you all as weak, as frail, as not as capable in terms of sports. You're just not good at sports like men are, apparently, which it's just it is what it is. It is what it is. Just shows kind of a mindset, I guess. But anyway, all right, that's gonna do it for tonight. Yeah, really protect this man. Sad DeSantis. God, tell me your fucking what's it called? Just reading the comments, sorry. Okay. Do we have any notes for next week? I don't think so. Do I have anything for next week? No. Clean slate, made it through everything. I have a bunch of stuff. Well, I think I need to make a bunch of thumbnails for the most part. That's, like, honest to God, the worst is the thumbnail part. Like, I cannot tell you how I'm not gonna say not good, because I mean, my thumbnails aren't amazing or anything, but like, it is, doing the thumbnails is just like, I'm not a goddamn graphic designer. If there was like one thing I really, really wish I had, it was an editor, but that's gonna have to be something that I'm gonna have to live with a lack of for a while, but that's okay. Anyway, let's see. Do I have any? Let me look this up really quick. Let's see. Oh, there are 2 people in here. Cool. This is what we'll do. Oh yeah. I guess I should do the thing. Oh wait, is nobody online? Nobody's online. I can't send anybody. That's okay. Okay. Either way. Yeah. If you enjoyed any of what you saw, if you learned anything, if you got some catharsis, whatever it might be, I certainly encourage you to hit that follow button on Twitch and the subscribe button on YouTube. It really helps out the channel, helps me out, just kind of, you know, keeps the ball rolling on this thing. Also, if you really want to help, share this with other folks who like watching political streams and stuff. That would also be really cool. But either way, that's going to do it for me tonight. I don't have any notes for next week. So you all have a lovely night, and I'll see you Monday. Oh, to which I think next week, keep an eye out for the schedule next week. I don't know what times we're doing stream next week. It might be afternoon. We might be doing just afternoon streams next week. We might be doing a combination of afternoon and night ones. I can't be 100% sure. But either way, you all have a lovely night. I will see you all Monday.
I'm going to be fine with your jokes, but I'm not sure about Dark Brandon.